And we are now live. So welcome to the very first ZONEofTECH live stream in the past, I think, 3 years or so. Welcome. We'll be watching the event together, and you guys can comment on the event, leave us questions, and so on. And if you take a look at the screen, in the bottom left, you can see a different angle of us. You can see the TV. The thing is, we cannot actually live stream the event because of copyright issues. I did it once, and unfortunately, I got a copyright strike on the whole channel. So yeah, this is how we're doing it, essentially. We're watching it, and you can see on the TV exactly where we are. So then you can open up the event in a different window, and then the live stream in another one to watch it with us. So yeah, I'm assuming the audio is all good.
Yeah, let us know if everything seems all right. We're a bit new to this, so we just want to make sure we're getting it right.
Yeah.
First time. Is the background music an okay volume? Am I an okay volume? There's Connor as well. We should all be at a decent point in terms of our volume because we've checked everything in advance, but you can tell us as well. We'll make sure we're fine for when the event starts.
Someone's saying that there's a lot of echo. Unfortunately, there is. So we do have some acoustic foam panels. We're not recording this in our studio just because of space. So this is in our main office. But yeah, so I guess we can start with just introducing Connor and Harry in case some of you, or most of you in case you haven't seen them. So Connor and Harry, they've both been here for the past almost 5 years, for Harry,
almost,
and
yeah.
4 years for Connor.
September, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, feel free to tell the audience what you guys each do.
We do more or less all the creative elements. I mean, we set up this stream, for example, edit the videos, do the shots, just process all of Daniel's recordings, more or less. Anything that is visual is more or less outside of the shots coming from me or Connor. So we just handle more or less every element of the creative side, I suppose you could say. It's never quite as simple as that, but we just kind of pick up bits here and there. But obviously, as a three, we're just kind of a creative team. We just turn things around as a three, depending on what input is needed here and there. You know, this live stream, for example, was a new thing, so we needed to get everyone up to speed, get everything organised, get making some stuff. Connor made the intro you saw, for example, and get the music organised, get everything looking right in terms of the visuals of the camera. So I would say this is going well. I'd like to think that's going to remain the case. I'll watch the chat to see if that actually does remain the case on your end as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, everyone seems to be fully involved so far. We have just a ton of comments from you guys, and over 2,000 of you watching the live stream. Yeah, so we have 25 minutes until the Apple event starts. So I think it's a good time to talk about what we're excited for the most at the event. Harry, want to tell us?
Ourselves?
Yeah.
I am the only person sat at this table who isn't a massive kind of Apple devout almost. I'm never really been involved in Apple's ecosystem. You know, I had it on this MacBook. I do like Apple's products for the most part. I don't really have any problem with any of them, but I just happen to use mostly Samsung stuff just because of, I guess, freedom of choice at this point. Too far out of the ecosystem to be able to get in. But in terms of my kind of unique perspective of interest, it would have to be the Apple Watch Pro, almost entirely because of the fact that it's very new and very weird. And weird normally means good for Apple. Whether that's good for the consumer or not generally is a different point, but I think of the 24-inch iMac, and I just think how that was a weird looking thing. White bezels,
100%,
all kinds of weird colours, big fat chin, and it was like, what is that? But it was different, it stirred the conversation. And you know, we have the, in the main recording, we have the blue one. And I think it looks brilliant. I think it looks really, really good and everything. So yeah, while you can bash all the products and the renders, you can make it feel like, oh, that looks a bit garbage. But when you get it, you kind of start to appreciate it for what it is. So I would say the Apple Watch Pro. Obviously the iPhone isn't really visually getting much out of it. We've got a few features that are worth paying attention to. And obviously the AirPods as well. To me, I quite like wireless earbuds. I think they're really good. So I'd be interested to see how good they are as well, yeah.
Quick pause, we just got our first super chat from Eddie Jenkins, so thank you, Eddie, for donating. So Eddie's question is, what if the iPhone 14 doesn't have a pill front camera? Well, to be honest, according to all the leaks that we've seen, and also the more recent ones that Apple will be unifying the pill plus the hole in software, I think it's quite likely that we're going to see that. Plus, I believe Mark Gurman also confirmed that in one of his tweets, so I do think that's coming. I think it's quite unlikely that we won't see it. Now, if you're referring to the non-Pro models, that is correct. We won't have a pill cut out on the non-Pro models.
I'm thinking if it isn't that, then it would ultimately have to be the notch. And there's just no indication that the notch is going to be on the Pros.
No,
nothing at all. If you were thinking of all the leaks that you get over the year, you generally get a bit of a mixed bag, some with maybe one thing, some with another. I remember when when the 10 had the notch, we made a whole bunch of different designs as to how, it was the camera modules, that was it. We made a million camera module designs because we weren't sure how it would look. And then in the end we got one and we were like, right, well that's the one. But in this case, we haven't had that random assortment of guesswork. We've just had, here's your funny little, the shape is borderline confirmed. The size of it, it's a bit hard to say. There's all kinds of sizes out there, but as of recently, I think it's become quite a bit more certain.
We just got another donation, another super chat from Fun Junoi. You haven't really left any questions, so if you just type one in the chat, I'll try and find it. Another one from Emmanuel02, thank you. Also no question, Hangarg, thank you as well. Feel free to type some questions for us, to be honest.
Well, someone's mentioned there, why no pill in the non-Pro models? Just simply waiting and spreading out the release stuff, essentially, isn't it? I mean, save that for another year and then they'll feel more significant. I suppose that's kind of common of a lot of features that Apple are currently making, with the 10R having one camera, the next one had the ultra-wide. The Pros ultimately already had the ultra-wide at that point, so it's kind of like, you can see how, well, I suppose in that case they didn't necessarily delay it, but the idea is to these new big headline features, just slowly roll them over.
Exactly. We have another donation from Jordan Jensen, and he asks, will the AirPods Pro 2 come out today? And I think it is extremely likely that we'll see the AirPods Pro 2. I mentioned in one of our previous videos, a couple of them actually, that based on the leaks, the AirPods Pro 2 are coming this year, and it would make the most amount of sense to get them at the September Apple event alongside the iPhone. And Mark Gurman has also confirmed this. So yeah, pretty much AirPods Pro 2, very likely that we'll see them in a few minutes, I guess.
Someone's asked, how long do you guys think till the iPhones go notchless? I believe Ross Young has claimed a date on that. Is it 2025?
So 2023 is when the iPhone 15, the standard, is getting the pill. 2025, I think, yeah.
Yeah,
or
is 2025 is when I believe
something like
the
that.
intention is to ultimately build it all underneath the display. And, similar to the under-display cameras that we've seen, it'll just be that, essentially, won't it? It'll just be a line
Yeah, exactly.
at the top. It does beg an interesting question of what will be their unique identifier at that point, because for the longest time it's been even the shape of the SE with the cutout amongst the big circle, kind of rounded shape. That alone is noticeable. And if they take away the notch, which they are, they replace it with the pill, also a bit weird. But if they take away the pill, ultimately at that point, what is left and what are they going to use to identify it? Because that seems to be a big priority for Apple. In that essentially adding something that is weird over something that necessarily looks better. I mean, again, iMac's chin didn't necessarily need to be there, but it does help when you look on the website and see that shape. It very easily identifies it.
We do have quite a few comments of people saying that we have lag. That is true, we do have a bit of lag on our end. We do have a time on the top left, if you take a look at that. That's basically our time here, so you can use that to basically sync yourself or realize where we are in terms of the Apple event and everything.
Yeah, it's get an idea of how far ahead you're probably going to be behind. How far behind you might be, and if you're really out of sync or not, yeah.
We just got a couple of more super chats. So one's from Dami Will Q. He's from Poland, so hello to all of you Polish people watching. And he asked, will I be able to install iOS 16 today? I think so. So based on all the previous September Apple events, iOS 16 was released right after the event. Okay, Fun Junoi, he's asking, will the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max have 8K 60 FPS? I'm not really sure. So I think 8K 30 is more than likely.
It's the 60 part, isn't it? That's the bigger
issue. The 60
issue
is
there,
quite tricky. Like, fun fact, did you know that on the iPhone 13 Pros, they're actually doing 4K 120 when they're doing 60, but they're using the second set of frames just to create the HDR processing. So it really depends on if they want to do 8K 60 with no HDR or 8K 30 with HDR.
Well, being a new addition, it might come with a weird Apple quirk of how they go about doing it. It's hard to say with Apple. They might end up Yeah, they might take it slow and kind of slowly phase it out. You know, with is a cinematic mode coming out in 1080p 30 at first?
Yeah, cinematic mode, yeah.
And then eventually they kind of worked it down the line. So it may be 8K 30, but it could be capable of 8K 60. It's very hard to say with Apple because they like to stretch out their projects a bit nowadays. So
yeah, I would put my money on 8K 30. That's what I would say.
I'd be very surprised if it was 8K 60. 8K 30 is decent. 8K 24 clearly isn't, looking at like Samsung and a few other brands. 24 frames is just too far gone. Like, call it what you will for like cinematic or whatever, but for just everyday video that happens to be sharper, it looks all kinds of rough. So I don't think Apple will drop it to 24. I don't think they'll take that as a standard. I think they'd rather have no 8K than in 24 frames. I just don't think they'll.
Yeah, I think so.
They won't be okay with that, basically.
We have another super chat from Scott Suter. Get your snacks ready. This is for a beer bro. Thank you for the donation. We do have another one from Ryan. He's asking, everything we will get reverse wireless charging. This is a tricky one because the iPhone 13 Pro already supports reverse wireless charging, but only with Apple's MagSafe battery, so you can reverse wireless charge that. So the functionality is there, but for some reason Apple just hasn't enabled it for the AirPods. So
it's a matter of if not when, isn't it? At this point,
yeah.
It's actually, I suppose it depends on the product, because traditional reverse wireless charging is essentially turning your phone, we'll take the Android ones, into a wireless charging pad and sticking something on the top of it. And that doesn't necessarily have to be from the same brand. I mean, stick some Pixel buds on the back of a Samsung phone, you've got charging. Apple's current implementation, the weird version of it, is purely an Apple product. I would not be surprised if that is the mentality here on out. It only works with Apple products. Take the AirPods, take the Apple Watch at some point potentially. This is all speculation, obviously, but I don't see them being as open with it as the current way that it works is, which is literally just to duplicate a wireless charger and work the same way. I think it'll be very tailored to Apple's kind of classic hardware, software integration that they like to really push home.
Another donation from Ahan Garg. Love your channel, bro. Also, any info on the iPhone Fold? I've been waiting for that since a long time. What if all iPhones Pros, the 14 Max, all of them have A16, but two variants? I'm not entirely sure what you mean with the last phrase. In terms of the iPhone Fold, Apple is working on it, at least according to the latest leaks and rumors. But it doesn't really seem like this is something that they'll be doing anytime soon. Google, for example, will be launching a foldable pretty soon.
There was talk about that on Twitter yesterday, I believe.
Yeah.
Someone said, I think it was Ross Young maybe said that the production is essentially starting now for the foldable panel, and to keep an eye on dates for when that might come. And given that the way that foldables currently is a bit of a Samsung, or at least in the UK and such like that, in the US, it is a Samsung game. Competition is long overdue at this point. We need to say like OnePlus needs to launch a foldable, and Google does, and any brand that has the means to kind of manufacture it essentially, because Samsung need competition at this point, yeah.
And in terms of the CPU question that Ahan was asking, so it is very likely that the iPhone 14 Pros will have the A16 Pro, so that's the true A16, and the 14 and the 14 Max would have the old A15, but the one with one extra GPU core, so the iPhone 13 Pro model, essentially. We have another super chat from Dami Will Q. What should Apple show today, but it will not do it? Okay, so you're essentially asking if Apple's going to show a product that they're not going to launch yet. I don't think that's going to be the case.
Well, I'm immediately just thinking the VR headset at that point.
Yeah, same.
Great, yeah, maybe it'd be interesting to see, but the reality is it's not going to... I mean, maybe it does come early next year, as Ming Chiu has been saying, but even then, for such an experimental product that is so incredibly different, I feel like they would happily push that. If that needs to be delayed by 6 months, they will just do that. There's no reason for them to release a sequel. They aren't even in that market in the first place at the moment. So, yeah, I think that there are things that we are expecting of Apple, but ultimately they are not going to come now, or maybe even next month's event either. Very likely not in that either.
We also have a super chat from, once again, Fun Junoy. He's asking, will the Apple event have a new AirPods Max? So there have been some new colors rumored for the AirPods Max. It's a tricky one to answer, really. Maybe. If they're updating the AirPods Pro 2, or the AirPods Pro today, it also makes sense to update the Max. So I would say maybe.
I think it makes some sense. Very hard to say whether it'll come or not, but I think it does make some sense that in the AirPods section, the same as got the iPhone section for the 4 iPhones, the AirPods section essentially ends with a moving on to the AirPods Max, they've done really, really well since release, all that kind of usual backpatting that Apple do. And then we're releasing some new colours for the new season or whatever. Maybe, they'll call it fall colours or something, who's to say. But they will just kind of throw it in there. Because Apple have done that in the past with various products, essentially like iPhones. It's like, we're going to release a new colour for you, make of that what you will, essentially, yeah. So I wouldn't rule it out.
Oh, another super chat from Ahan again. Thank you. He's asking, are we going to get two variants of the A16? So one 5 nanometers, one 3 nanometers. No. So both the A16 and the A16 Pro are set to be 5 nanometers. So we're not going to get the 3 until next year.
Someone here, Chris Sheeran, has mentioned AirPods Max upgrades to a Pro version. Now, given the AirPods Max already cost $500, is it $500?
Yeah, they're really expensive.
A Pro version might seem quite ludicrous by comparison to that. I feel like the AirPods Max are already a Pro device.
Exactly, they're already in a way the Pro model of the AirPods.
How far do you go if that isn't already at Pro pricing? Yeah, but,
exactly.
If we see in a $1,000 Apple Watch, I suppose $1,000 headphones wouldn't be that far behind.
Yeah, we have about 12 minutes until the event starts, and before answering the super chats, we were talking about what product we're excited to see the most. Harry, told us about the Apple Watch Pro. What
Pretty
about you,
Connor? But the iPhones,
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'd probably say the iPhone 14 Pro status bar, the pill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I'm excited to see what they do with that, because making it a bit like the Mac, and you've got the indicator. Yeah,
that'd be quite cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll change the phone up a little bit. So
yeah, and it's an interesting one because on the Mac the indicator is an actual physical indicator, but on the iPhone it's just literally a trick. It's part of the OLED display, just a pixel that lights up. But to be honest, iPhones have a really good oleophobic coating, and just the display panels are very high quality in general. And if you look at an iPhone that's turned off, the display blends in with the bezel, so they're both really, really black. So I don't think you'll be able to see that.
It's a detail, isn't it, that they definitely have always paid attention to. The whole idea of it. I mean, if you look at back when the iPhone 10 kind of launched, it was essentially a sandwich. One side was one color, one side was the other with the camera band in the middle. It was like a three-piece construction. They consider the screen when it's turned off and the notch and everything around it, the bezel, to be one seamless piece, essentially. You look at any of their marketing things, you won't see any bezels in any of them. So it certainly seems to be the aim for them. Exactly.
We have another super chat from Gustavo, watching your coverage from Sao Paulo, Brazil. So hello. Another one from Bradley. He's saying that he's had an M1 Mac Mini for a month. He's already ready to purchase a MacBook. He's teaching online. Is the base MacBook Pro 14 good for this? Absolutely. Like, if you buy a 14-inch MacBook Pro right now, it's actually discounted pretty much everywhere. I think in the UK it's down by almost £200. And at that point, it is actually cheaper than buying a MacBook Air and upgrading that with 16 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of storage. So absolutely, that's the best deal you can get in any MacBook.
I think if you can handle the size, the weight almost, not necessarily the physical size. These MacBook Pros, the 16 and the 14, are the best laptops in the game right now, assuming you can live with Apple's, Mac OS. They're just perfect. They do everything perfectly. They perform significantly better than anything you could really expect for this price if you look at Windows computers and stuff like that. So I would say that, they're an obvious choice, without question, Assuming, you can afford it and you can be bothered to, looking it about a bit, then you've got no reason not to, ultimately.
Another super chat from Ahan. Thank you once again. Really cool hype emoji. Then Tom Barton, he asks, do you feel that all of the leaks about the iPhone 14 Pro Max will be true? I think the majority of them will be true. I think 90% or more of them, especially the ones coming from reliable sources, I think those would be true. But I do think there will be some differences. Maybe in terms of the colors, maybe we're not going to see all the rumored ones. Maybe the storage won't be 256 on the Pro's baseline. So we might see some differences.
I'm just going to shout out Lara for spamming the same message since we started this live stream. What would you guys recommend for me? I've never had a MacBook and I can't decide between the MacBook Air M1 and the MacBook Air M2. I wanted to use it for schoolwork, writing, and editing videos. We have a video on this. We did make a video on covering this idea, ultimately, it is very hard to say, but I would say the MacBook Air M1 will very likely do everything you need it to do.
100%, especially if you can find it at a discounted price. It's such a great deal because like when it comes to the actual performance, it is very similar to the M2 MacBook Air. In fact, when it comes to the storage speeds, as you probably know, it's half the speed. So if you transfer a lot of files, you're actually going to notice that.
I'd say that it ultimately comes down to price. Yeah, like how good can you get the MacBook Air M1 for? If you can find one that's a good price, then it will be fine. They will both be fine. But if you can't find one for a good price and the Air is only a little bit more, you might want something newer. You might want the color, the blue one. So they're both good options. Depends how much you want to spend ultimately.
We have another super chat from, once again, Fun Juno. Thank you. So he's asking, will there be a new MacBook Pro 16-inch? Yes, but not at this event. So there is a new 16-inch coming in November. That is the rumored date with the Apple M2 Pro and the M2 Max chips, no other changes. Yeah, that's pretty much in November for that.
Is it November? October? Oh, when the new one comes out?
October, that's likely when the iPads will come out, just the iPads, and then November for the MacBooks.
How many events did we have last year? Was it 2 in the end?
I think 3.
Was there 3 last year?
I think so.
I thought it was 2.
I think there were 3.
I think, didn't the MacBooks come with the iPads?
Have they? Anyone in the chat?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Anyone in the chat who can confirm, please?
I think that was the case. Because I remember we had a year where there was 3 events. I think this was 2020. And Mark Gurman said there's going to be loads of events at the end of the year. And we were all like, 3 events? Like, what are they going to talk about for 3 events? But yeah, they just kept firing them out over and over again. But I'm pretty sure it calmed down since, because with what we do, it was kind of like, I've got 3 different events. That's going to just be a non-stop train. And I don't believe it happened. But I wouldn't even rule out for this year, though, to be fair.
Another super chat from Aryan. He asks, my M1 Mac lags on opening files or folders on my iCloud. Any fixes? I haven't looked into it yet. Well, it depends. If you're opening files from iCloud, those would have to be streamed. So it could be that your internet connection is slow. You can download those for offline usage. So if you give that a try, that could fix it.
Looking at someone's message. What will be the best iPhone to buy after the release? Probably the 14 Pro, regular. If you're looking value for money, don't really bother. It depends on what you've got now more than anything.
Exactly, yeah.
But if you're even looking at the regular 14, probably consider the 13 Pro at that point. I mean, I'm not 100% sure what other stuff is going to be exclusive to it, but I wouldn't rule it out. I think the 13 Pro will probably hold its own, if not do more, than the regular 14 would, and likely for the same price. So maybe not even any of the event phones, depending on what you're coming from.
One more super chat from Nathan. Thank you. In terms of what I'm excited for the event, so once again, Harry said the Apple Watch Pro, Connor said the new pill cutout for the iPhone 14 Pro. In my case, it would be the camera on the 14 Pro. I'm really curious to see what Apple does with that new 48 megapixel sensor, which is the first increase since the iPhone 6s. I'm really curious to see that. I'm also curious about the night time or the night mode capabilities. Normally, this should be worse, right? The pixels are smaller. So I'm really curious to see how Apple approaches this. Another super chat from Jiffer. Apple needs to bring iPhone Designer Studio to iPhone. Let me pay $100 more and make a gold frame, green, black, back white bezel.
That's straight out of Samsung, isn't it? The playbook there.
Yeah.
That is the Z Flip bespoke model ultimately, isn't it? Yeah. Pick your different pieces essentially from various metals or whatever, glasses, yeah. Always a nice idea, but not very surprising.
I do agree. I think my favorite iPhone would be one that has a pure matte black finish on the back, frosted glass back, which Apple doesn't really sell at the moment, and then a matte frame. So essentially, an iPhone 14's frame with an iPhone 14 Pro's back, but just darker.
Both the parts exist.
Yeah.
They just aren't manufactured together, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
And the kind of like stealth black look, I imagine, yeah.
Another super chat from Nathan asking, should I upgrade from the 13 Pro Max to the 14 Pro Max? I think it really depends. The battery life should be a bit better, but it was already incredible on the 13 Pro Max. I think if you really want that upgraded camera, again, we'll have to see exactly what the upgrades are in terms of real world usage. I think that's the only major reason, in my opinion. We also have another super chat from Dami. Will Q. Is there any chance of less scratching glass on the Nike Apple Watch? I don't think so.
Sapphire, basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
It would have to be Sapphire, more or less, yeah.
I don't think that's going to be the case. So essentially the base Apple Watch models, they have a standard glass. They don't have sapphire glass like the more expensive ones, and I don't think that's going to be changing anytime soon.
I wouldn't necessarily rule it out. I would probably rule it out for this model, but Samsung's recent Galaxy Watch 5 that only released a little while ago does come with Sapphire, and that's cheaper than the cheapest Apple Watch.
That is true, yeah.
So if we were to look at when Apple pushes a standard, call it the lack of a headphone jack, the other brands tend to pay attention and go, well, we can get away with that now, so we're gonna. I don't know how well it's going to work the other way around. If Samsung introduces Sapphire, ultimately, if you've got an Apple Watch, you're kind of locked into the Apple Watch. So I don't know whether Apple will take that as pressure to actually introduce it, but it's impossible to say, really, yeah.
Another donation from Ahan, once again, with a really cool gift this time. Another one, thank you. Bradley says that Best Buy has the MacBook for $15.99. Yeah, that's a really good deal, to be honest. I would go for that. $15.99 instead of $19.99, so that's a really good discount. As you can probably tell, the Apple event is about to start. We have an animation of, just the intro. I do hope that we don't get claimed, by the way. We've tried our best to avoid that. So we'll have to see. If the stream goes down, that will probably be why.
Yeah, if it suddenly disappears.
Yeah.
That's probably the only reason, right? Unless our internet gets killed or whatever, yeah.
Another super chat from Adam. Daniel, proud of you. Been watching you for almost the beginning. You've come a long way. Thank you, Adam. That's awesome. It was a long journey. And to be honest, for the past 5 years, I haven't been alone. It was Harry and Connor who have been...
For 5 years, isn't it, again?
Yeah.
The amount of time, yeah.
Super involved in all the videos, and the three of us have been making all the content on the channel, so...
Is it for longer than... Not quite, is it? You've been with us, essentially, for longer than you've been without. Not quite that, is it?
Yeah, so we've actually just reached that now.
Is that literally the point we're at?
Yeah, because I posted the first video on the 1st of August 2012, so we actually reached 10 years earlier, last month, since the very first video. The 5 years was in 2017. Mm-hmm. Actually, no, you joined in October, so not yet.
Yeah, no.
Not yet. Very soon.
October, yeah. Soon enough.
Yeah, soon enough. Another donation from Ahan. Thank you. It started with the Star Moving animation. Another one from Dave. Any chance of a new 27-inch iMac this year or early next year? Maybe. So we have.
About to say, it's maybe, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, we made a video on the iMac Pro on all the leaks. And yeah, to be honest, we're not sure. The leaks are a bit confusing in terms of the release date. So.
Well, even Matt Gurman doesn't seem sure, and he's normally the go-to guy to confirm it. Even he's kind of like, yeah, it's probably coming, but as for when,
yeah,
maybe soon, maybe not soon at all. Yeah.
Another donation from Fun Juno. He's saying that he's been watching us from back when he got his first iPad. That's cool. Another one from Thor. Hello from Romania. Salutare. I'm thinking to change my Mi 11, with an iPhone 14 Pro Max. What do you think? It's up to you. If you want to switch to iOS, I think the 14 Pro Max would be obviously, the most advanced iPhone that Apple sells.
It's quite all in, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'd like the best version of the best one. But you wouldn't be disappointed with it.
But if you want to stay on the Android side, I would suggest maybe a Pixel or a Galaxy S22, or even a Fold if you can afford it. That would be a really cool one to try. But yeah, the Apple event is now starting. So if you guys could switch, if you can open a new window, have it side by side with the live stream, and then we can watch it. We can watch it together.
Yeah, again, we won't be showing it on ours because if we do, it'll just disappear in an instant. Yeah. Apple ultimately will claim it. We can.
You can kind of see it in the corner. You can see exactly where we are in the live stream. So.
For reference, yeah, we've got the clock and our version, our view of it, so you can maybe use that to work out if we're that far away from where you might be.
Yeah, and please send all the prayers so that we don't get taken down.
Get evaporated, yeah. And let us know if, we've got it quite quiet, but let us know if you can hear it.
Free products.
Yeah, that could
okay.
literally be it then, couldn't it?
There you go.
There you go.
iPhone, AirPods,
As
and Apple Watch,
expected, yeah.
as expected.
Seems like they're getting straight into it this time.
It's lagging. Everyone else is streaming alright.
Magical experience. Okay. So it looks like they're gonna start with the AirPods. Thank you for the last donation, Ahan. So yeah, it looks like they're simply recapping what the AirPods
The usual
can
kind
do.
of, if you want one, you want the other, don't you?
Another message and donation from Patrick. Hello, ZONEofTECH team. Been watching Daniel since the early days. Could you stay looking young and dapper, good sir? Yeah,
So,
thank you.
helps. We're just going to start with...
Okay, I think the AirPods. Oh, hold on. Apple Watch is
I thought
first.
the iPhone was going to be first because they seemed they were all integrated with that.
Let's see.
Are they going to just show the video? Here's what it looks like.
Okay, so as usual,
Yeah,
they're
we've
gonna
seen this
share
before, haven't we? Yeah, this style.
an experience story of a person who's been an Apple Watch user.
I assume they get this message and then get back in touch with them again to produce,
Yeah, I think so.
to go heavy on the production. Yeah.
I think they simply might email Tim that, oh, the Apple Watch saved my life or something like that.
Yeah, there's
And then
definitely
reach out,
people out there doing that. Yeah, and then they obviously kind of go, well, that sounds great. Let's integrate you into the event essentially. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that guy's story.
I'm really curious to see what the new sensor, the temperature sensor, can actually do, and how that is implemented.
It'd be interesting to see what they kind of pitch it as it's best for. Will it ultimately be viral infections and stuff that raise your temperature? It's as simple as that.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow, she was involved in a plane crash.
I think how. Yeah, did it.
Yeah, well, the tricky thing is you also need to have a signal. So I don't know where exactly she crashed.
Somewhere conveniently with it.
And it's also a bit weird, like, yes, the Apple Watch does have cellular, but its range, its signal range, is significantly lower than that of an iPhone. So like, if she had her Apple Watch with her, I'm assuming she also had an iPhone?
Yeah, you'd think, wouldn't you? Alan has said, I freaked out with the bin man story, so I muted the video. It didn't look like it was heading that way, to be fair. When he said he fell into it, I was like, okay. bit creepy.
Now, I am curious to see if they're actually going to bring satellite connectivity to the iPhone and especially the Apple Watch. Maybe this is what these stories are going to refer to.
These are like
Oh, the Apple Watch saved my life.
cellular specific ones, aren't they, as well, it seems. They're all like, my iPhone wasn't there, and that kind of thing, yeah. I do wonder how long that guy sitting in his house, does he even live there? Or have they just shipped him out to like an Airbnb or something?
And we are back to Tim. Best Apple Watch lineup, okay.
But is it the most expensive? Is my biggest question.
It probably is. It probably is.
$1,000? Really? Are Apple really pushing their luck with how much they can get out of their audience?
And it is also the #1 selling watch. Interesting how they haven't really mentioned that. Okay, let's see, what's next? This should be the series. Is it the new Series 8? The new Series 8.
You'd be forgiven. I like that yellow.
Even more, okay.
Flamsy, there is going to be a 14 Plus. It's very likely.
Yep, so it looks just like the Series 7.
I'm not going to say we're going to get brighter always on display.
Okay, all of these,
they're old, aren't they?
This last one seems to be new.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, you didn't have a background before, like that.
Gradient background. How fast are they going to get through the Series 8-bit?
Let's see. Oh, the gold is still here. There was a rumor that the gold stainless steel will be removed, but it's still here.
I think even the colours are the same, are they not? Midnight on the left. Starlight on the right.
Brings even more features.
It's all health again, like health this, health that. It's all very much kind of like looking after.
There we go, new temperature sensor. So, is it gonna be just for cycle tracking? This was what the original rumors were saying.
There is no Max coming, by the way, Max. That is pretty much confirmed as of this point. Abraham has said, you want a healthier life, go exercise, not some watch. That was my point in one of my videos. At the end of the day, it's you that needs to be exercising, not just buying stuff that enables it.
Yeah, that's true. You need to be, if you are motivated...
It's a great mix of both, if you can manage to work that, yeah.
If you are motivated, you can find anything to work with.
You don't necessarily need to track any of it at the same time, yeah. Just get out there and do it, yeah. But obviously Apple's pitch is to make it feel like the Apple Watch is the real game changer.
New sensor design, okay, what's this? Under the display, interesting. Wow.
That does make sense, to be fair. One for the outside temperature, one for your skin temperature, and it's referencing the two, yeah.
Interesting, so it doesn't actually tell you your baseline temperature or your actual temperature. It just tells you the differences.
Yeah, which I suppose from the kind of looking after you mentality, yeah, it's that does make sense, yeah, because it's alerting you of stuff, isn't it, I guess.
Guys, be nice. Be nice in the comments.
The Apple Watch has got to the point now where the new stuff is so incredibly specific.
Yeah.
It's like, this isn't anything new either. There's been a lot of very, very specific stuff coming out of it, yeah.
No, I do wonder if this will still give you a warning if you have a temperature. There was a rumor, I believe it was coming actually from Mark Gurman, that it would also work this way, but from the looks of it, it seems to just be for cycle tracking.
Or at least, yeah, as of now anyway, I guess, yeah. Yeah, it comes down to that again. It's like they have a checklist of things they don't necessarily prioritize, but they want, and they slowly are adding them in bit by bit, both hardware and software.
How many times do you think they're going to mention privacy?
That's their biggest seller at this point, isn't it? Yeah.
We should have implemented a privacy counter.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting seeing all the iOS lock screens in the images. It looks so far from what it used to before.
Yeah.
iOS 16 just looks like a different device almost.
Someone's asking, was the iPhone announced already? No, they're still talking about the Apple Watch Series 8. And I think they're going to continue with the AirPods afterwards and leave the iPhone until the end.
Do you reckon the Pro is a one more thing? Surely
The Apple Watch Pro.
No.
I don't think so. I think they're going to...
I think it's going to be in this bit. I think it's going to be straight after. But we're not stopping there. Introducing the blah, 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 all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so it seems like they're also introducing car crash detection, which was a feature that was rumored for years. It is a software feature. So let's see if they added any new sensors.
I thought they already had this.
Yeah, I was thinking that, to be fair.
Same idea, but now applied to car crashes.
Now the question is this also coming to the older Apple Watches?
Well,
Yes.
Android, Google recently added this to like Android, like in general, like almost all devices got it.
Okay, 2 new motion
All
sensors,
phones.
so an improved gyroscope, and a high G-force accelerometer. Okay, so technically,
Do you really need that to know if you're in a car crash?
I think it's probably more precise, more accurate though.
But I feel like this is classic Apple hardware locking. Because we've given it an unnecessarily fancy gyroscope or whatever, now we can't bring it to the previous ones.
Accurate car crash detection, okay. Interesting.
What was that last one?
Rolling over. So I guess it's pretty cool to have that functionality.
Yeah.
But then also some cars, they already have that, right?
Yeah, they've got SOS buttons.
Yeah.
A lot of the modern ones especially, yeah. I mean, also phones, just, you know, there's a good chance you got your phone on you in a car, even if it's not in your pocket. So locking this to a Series 8 specific just doesn't make much sense, but again, it's Apple just padding their new device with niche software.
Yeah.
I mean, someone there said, could this be any more boring? And it's like, that is what the Apple Watch is nowadays. Marginal features that you'll probably never use, but they've still talked for 15 minutes about it.
Oh, it's the same battery.
Same
so
battery, same
18
design.
hours.
Just so with the plane crash in the video,
Bless me.
did she call the emergency services with the Apple
Well, it was
Watch, or
conveniently vague.
Ballpark
wasn't it,
mode.
again?
Wow, 36 hours on a single charge.
What compromises is required, though?
Oh, that's my power mode.
You turn on off the always on display, you lose a lot of functionality, I find.
Oh, cool. Series 4 and later. Perfect.
Yeah,
So
rightly so, yeah.
I can keep my Series 7. I don't need to upgrade. International roaming. Okay. Okay, this is cool. We need to mention this in the video.
Spoilers.
Okay, this is pretty cool. Whenever I travel, even though I have the silver model of the Apple Watch Series 7, it doesn't work outside the UK.
Weird. Wonder why.
It just antenna bends.
Wonder if that applies to other smartwatches. Is that
4
a light
colors.
blue?
Midnight Starlight, silver. So they
Silver
brought
has
back the
returned,
silver.
but that is not silver.
And silver, gold, and graphite. Okay, so it's basically the same colors
But no new bands, only new colours. It's been a while since they made a good band.
and new colors bands. There you go. This is what I was hoping. So
Wait, what?
you can use all the Nikes. I think they're discontinuing the Nike model in that case, right?
They're all just the Nike model now. They're all not.
I was actually mentioning that in our final leaks and rumors. We had to cut it because the video was too long, but it looks like this is what they're doing.
That Hermes one with the metal chain is beautiful. That is so distinct.
That's a very interesting watch.
I don't hate the Hermes one, it just costs too much, but that
Color
band was certainly
protection,
something.
blood oxygen.
So yeah, if you've got a Series 7, your reasons to upgrading are marginal. Give it a few
Absolutely
years.
not, no.
No, it's not worth it at all.
Cycle tracking, it seems like it doesn't have any functionality for men from the looks of it, not even a temperature detection.
Well, as of now, anyway.
As of now.
Give it another year and maybe. And the lower power mode.
Same prices.
The lower power mode is only 36 hours, and that's without an always on display.
Yeah.
So it's only very much borderline that. It's not even 2
Personally,
days.
I'll take it. I'm really happy with my Series 7. Like the battery is really good coming from my Series 5.
Yeah, it did need low power mode, even if it was only slight, because not having that option is borderline annoying. Yeah.
At least it's the same price.
Jeff is really excited for the Series 8.
Video. That's a WatchOS feature, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
Calling out Apple for their misleading advertising.
Yeah, they always do this. They advertise the new Apple Watch or the new whatever new product as if the old one did not have these features. Like they're advertising that, oh, it's water resistant, it's dust resistant. There you go.
That's an incredibly old feature.
This isn't anything new. So I think they're targeting these ads to people who don't actually have an Apple Watch already.
Yeah, they want you to buy their like entry version, don't they? Because there's
Yeah.
obviously talk of a new SE coming as well this year. So
Yeah.
they just want you to own an Apple. Because at the end of the day, the Apple Watch is the perfect ecosystem lock-in device. It only works with iPhones. The sooner they sell you an Apple Watch, the sooner you're going to be buying iPhones for the next 10 years. So I think the Apple Watch is a very big deal for Apple to be promoted.
There was also a recent leak saying that there's going to be another Apple Watch that's going to be extremely cheap. So I'm assuming another model, a fourth model essentially. So I'm assuming if anything, they're going to keep the SE1. And then they'll have the SE2, the Series 8, and of course the new Pro.
I assume the Series 3 is going at least. There you go.
Oh, the SE, there we go.
Immediately.
80% of the customers. Okay.
Not red, weirdly.
So the updated colors, I believe these were the exact colors that we said in the video as well.
Yeah.
What the hell? Is that plastic? What did he say? Nylon materials?
Hold on. Okay, we'll need to look more into that. But it looks like the back matches the front now.
Well, it matches the
the bezel.
The bezel,
Yeah.
the frame, yeah. But he said it was nylon something. That must be plastic, right?
Interesting, the same motion sensors as the Apple Watch Series 8 for the SE2.
The little gyro. Oh, the bezels are still. Yeah, well, understandably. They have an always on display.
Oh, so for the SE2, they said that it features the S8 chip, but they haven't really said anything about the S8 chip when they talked about the Series 8. So based on the leaks, this is the same chip as the S6, just rebranded into the S8. And given by the, judging by the 20% performance improvement that they stated, that seems to be the case, yeah. From the S5 to the S6 chip, you had a 20% jump.
These are, again, all watchOS features as well.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't get an always on display, what's the point? Such a marginal increase.
Yeah, it's a very small upgrade. I guess the only upgrade in that case is the slightly faster processor and the crash detection.
God, I can see why you guys are all commenting this is boring in the chat. Yes, it is. It's all very, very slight and like...
Same prices as before, $249. I mean, I guess if you...
Oh, September 16th, is that Friday?
Yeah, that's next week. Have they said when the pre-order start?
Yeah. 16th?
That wasn't that delivery.
It'll be this Friday, I assume.
I assume, yeah.
Because they're available.
But normally
on the 16th,
they would say that at the event.
They'll probably run for all that in the end, won't they?
Okay, there we go. Something completely new.
Yeah.
Explorers,
Straight
adventurers,
to the point.
and elite athletes. Interesting. We're definitely not in that target audience, that's for sure.
We thought it was niche before. This is all kinds. Diver, yeah.
Exploration, adventure, and endurance.
I hope the battery life's like 3 days then.
Let's see. Years in the making, wow.
This costs $1,000.
I think it will be expensive.
It's so expensive.
Okay, let's see. Please tell me that it doesn't have that ugly design.
Isn't it?
But
Does
it will.
does it look as we
I
expect
think it will have that design.
And is it ginormous? Yes, it does have that design, I think.
I think it does have it, yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%
No.
does. Yeah, 100%.
This is the Apple Watch Pro, guys.
Button. Oh, look at the orange. Look at the orange touch.
The orange touch.
Yeah, the crown and the button on the other side are orange.
Okay, that screen has that lip that we also created in our concept.
Is that a custom band?
I think it is, yeah. It is supposed to come with custom bands, yeah.
How big is this device?
Apparently it's 49 millimeters.
49 millimeters. Like,
What's with the
Who's
crown
allowed to-
design? And it's so thick. I do hope that the battery life is good. Apple Watch Ultra?
Apple Watch Ultra. Hold on a minute.
Hold on.
Firing back at Samsung.
They have mics. It has mics everywhere.
It's got antenna bands on the bezel.
The most rugged and capable Apple Watch ever.
It is monstrously large, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, the crown sticks out more than I thought. And it's not brushed like the previous titanium. Oof, not very much. Tiny little lip.
49 mil.
Millimeters.
This is massive.
This.
Easier to read in the Hershey's. I mean, even on Jeff's wrist, it looks gigantic.
Good luck pulling your sleeve
The
over this
action
one.
button. High contrast international orange.
I like that. I do like that.
Yeah, okay, so you can customize that extra button to any apps or actions that you want.
Yeah, we did this. Bigger, coarser. Use
Yeah.
your gloves. Yeah, literally what they said, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we did with our concept.
The G-Shock Apple Watch.
The audio system,
Exactly
second
that.
speaker.
Even when it
Okay,
comes to the color scheme.
interesting. Okay, so better calls and a better speaker. They built in, of course, for
Ultra.
$1,000.
What is
That's
that
such a
name?
weird name.
I would be curious about how this stands up in terms of durability to
biggest
the
battery
Watch
life.
5 Pro.
Up to 36 hours on a single charge. Okay, so
What?
basically double.
That's nothing.
And up to 60 hours
And low power mode.
for a multi, yeah.
You've got to buy a 50mm Apple Watch that looks like rubber, like looks awful, just to get 36 hours of battery life.
Oh, they have a new watch face.
If this costs $1,000, they're taking the mick. Like that's just ridiculous.
I do like this new watch face, I gotta say.
That's cool. The bezel looks thicker than the Series 7, bizarrely. But
Oh,
I
and it's
guess
got a
just
night
fair.
mode, okay. This is cool. I do like that.
Such a specific audience. You reckon it only comes in one
Alpine
colour?
Maybe.
Oh, that's an interesting idea. See, here we go. This is what I like from Apple.
Uh-huh.
Innovative, bizarre-looking bands. I really like these.
Interesting. Ocean band. This looks cool, wow. I do like
How
that.
does that close? What?
Mm-hmm. Another one, the trail, so there's three new bands at the moment.
Even the bands are incredibly specific.
Yeah. I wonder how expensive will these bands
Struggling
be.
to work out what's going on there. Is it Velcro?
Yeah.
I can't see anyone who doing all of this running and stuff like that wanting a device as incredibly bulky as that. This is literally like strapping a. Well, it's going to be massive.
So they're claiming that this was designed for extreme sport athletes, but the only new, big new feature is the battery life.
Well, even then, it's borderline. It's 36 hours. Like it's 12 hours or whatever. I suppose it's double, isn't it? Double what the Apple Watch claims.
Yeah.
Is that how many days is it going to translate to in real use case? Like 2?
Yeah. A dual frequency GPS solution.
Half an hour on just the watches. Well, they are a big moneymaker for Apple nowadays. iPhone is borderline old news by comparison. People already own iPhones. They need people to start buying Apple Watches. $699, someone calls the price.
$699.
I mean,
I think it's gonna be more than that.
that would be bold to think it was that low, but yeah.
And there we go, just like we predicted.
It only comes in one colour, doesn't it? And that is beige. Beige colour. But they at least copy Samsung's black titanium while they're at it.
Yeah, I mean, the action button is cool. I'll give it that.
Would you guys want to see a video of the Samsung Watch 5 Pro versus this? Given their
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
target audience, because we don't actually have a Watch 5 Pro, so that would be new for us as much as this would be. The action button. Ooh, nice transition.
Okay, I've just created a poll. And you guys can vote if you want to see a video on the Apple Watch Ultra versus the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro or not.
Or we'll do something else that,
Yeah.
some other idea.
We'll definitely do videos on everything that Apple announces today. We'll order everything.
Well, we'll try. Can't make any promises much to do with the SE or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah, true.
The significant
Probably
stuff.
not the SE.
Yeah.
But definitely the significant stuff. The Series 8 will be featured, of course, the Ultra.
Someone's asking, how are we hearing? I assume they mean, how can we hear the event? It's just very quiet.
It's very quiet, yes.
So we've got captions on, so you can't hear it as well, because you should have it open in another tab, so we'll take that problem off you.
We've had 305 votes, so loads of you have voted in just a few seconds, and 73% of you have said yes, we should do a video. So maybe.
How much percent?
72% now.
72? Well, I feel like it's worth our time, yeah.
It looks ginormous on her wrist. Holy smokes, do you guys see that?
It looks so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It looks so
It looks
like...
extremely rugged. Extremely.
It sticks off the wrist as well by like a good couple of centimeters almost. I mean, I get that G-Shocks are bulky, but even by their standards, this is something.
Yeah.
I mean, but to be fair though, yeah, like look at that use case. You wouldn't get this if you weren't doing stuff
Absolutely
like
not, no. And that's the thing.
Then
If you get... we'll see about the price. Twice the water resistance, up to 100 meters.
Well, that needs it, yeah. That
yeah, okay.
That watch would require that, yeah. A depth app, I like that.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a clever use of technology.
I do like that.
Ooh,
Oh, hold on, is it a depth phase?
I think it's an app, like the decibel meter and stuff like that. I feel like not a single thing they've talked about so far actually interests the mainstream consumer. Like the Series 8 is underwhelming and stuff, but it's like...
Okay, honestly, guys, is there anyone in the chat who is considering, like, honestly considering the Apple Watch Ultra?
Someone
is
said
any of you...
Garmin is still king, and I can't see this if influencing them one bit. I don't think this is going to land. I think this might be a bit of a HomePod-esque device.
It might be.
Comes out when other products exist and kind of doesn't really beat them in any way.
If anything, Apple should launch, if they really want to launch a new product, they should launch a drone.
Just the sea of nope.
Yeah, no, so many no's.
No, there you go.
Someone wants the Ultra. James, Cyber James, why do you want the Ultra? Like, what's your like use case? Let us know, I'm curious.
Oceanic Plus app for the Apple Watch. Okay. Apple Watch Ultra specifically. I think that's a problem. The same watch you wear every day.
Not that one.
Yeah.
I think you might have to own two watches here.
I think you will, yeah.
It's genius from Apple. Out of the deal right here.
We'll mention all of this in our upcoming videos, by the way.
How are we going to cover this watch when it's all like extreme sports? None of us are relevant.
No.
What do we do?
I guess we'll have to explore the apps that it offers.
We might have to do this on a basic level.
Yeah, I'm sorry guys, we won't be able to do any scuba diving for...
mountain climbing.
I would love to, don't you?
Yeah, that would be really cool to do, but we don't have enough people that work here.
The percentage is dropping, by the way, 69% at the moment of 818 votes.
When will it be on the market? Could be next Friday, could be a lot later than that. Very hard to say, but a device like this, I wouldn't be surprised if it got pushed.
Yeah, the problem with this watch is that even if this was, I don't know, $500, whatever, a decent price you could say, you will need to have a second Apple Watch. Like, there's no way that you would take this on like a formal, to like a formal event or something.
Even just an everyday thing though, because it doesn't
it
doesn't do anything more than the other Apple Watch.
Not for the everyday.
For the day-to-day, I'm going to work style use case. So I would not want to have to get my shirt sleeve or whatever over the top of that huge unit.
Oh yeah.
Like imagine wearing a jacket and that thing's just like growing out of your wrist. Like, oh, it looks so awkward. Go scuba diving in the Keys.
Yeah, you'll need two Apple Watches.
Do that for us, Taylor.
It is cool, but...
Someone's made an interesting point. Is the watch going to be that clear in the water? Will you actually be able to see it as clearly as they're putting it? That's someone's going to make a video on that, and we can't. So
from my experience of swimming with the Apple Watch,
but you're not open water swimming, are you?
No, just in pools and seawater, and it was pretty good, to be honest. But just because it's quite close to your face.
Cyber James currently wears a 52mm watch. Is that a diesel watch by any chance or something?
ECG LTE.
You must have monster apps. Fair play.
So I'm not 2000 nits. Wow.
Well, how did that buy me?
And it's extremely thick. Like I'm still surprised by how thick this thing is.
Are you blokes Liverpool fans? No. They play in Napoli. Probably give it Liverpool, but depends on the form.
And just the usual, environment friendly.
So many people struggling to actually kind of
60 hours, So it's 60 hours of battery life with low power mode enabled. And the thing is, we'll need to see exactly on Apple's website after the event how many hours you get if you're also doing workouts. Because on the Apple Watch Series 8, for example. Oh, hold on, $799.
Whoa.
Order today. Ooh, what?
Today.
Hang on, pull up a calendar. When's the 23rd? So it's not available alongside the other ones.
No.
But it's not 1,000. Right. Yeah. Well, that makes it a little bit more justifiable then.
$799.
23rd is Friday after next.
Surely that's going to make it about the same price as the. I suppose it's a little bit more expensive than the stainless steel one. So the titanium version has been replaced by this essentially.
Isn't the edition, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's true. It is cheaper than the edition.
Yeah.
But I think they did remove the edition.
Yeah, I assume that's gone, yeah.
$799.
It's so specific, it's hard to really get, like,
so I mean,
hyped about.
It's better. The rumor prices were $899, so $900 or $999. So it's $100 less than the cheapest rumored price.
Yeah.
And I wonder, is this because Apple saw that a lot of people were complaining about that rumor price? I don't know.
Is this ultimately a low manufacture number device to kind of give Apple an illusion of they're addressing every audience ultimately?
Yeah.
Even though there's so many of them, at least they sell it and it looks like they're covering all the bases.
And it looks so thick, so heavy, so massive. I wouldn't even call this a watch. I would call it like, I don't know, a wrist computer. Really, I don't think you could call this a watch.
Why would you turn it? Yes.
It's cool, but it's so specific. This is more specific than the Mac Studio.
It's hard to, it's hard to get like that interested when it doesn't add up to any of us.
You didn't mention satellite connectivity, did they?
No, they
haven't.
haven't.
iPhone thing, no.
I don't think it has it in that case.
It does only come in one colour, and it's not a particularly nice colour, which is interesting. I figured it would come in black.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I would love to actually do all of these things, scuba diving, going to the Arctic to properly test it, but...
They've spent 40 minutes on just the watch.
40 minutes already.
Are they going to give 40 minutes to the iPhone as well?
I think...
I'd be surprised.
We'll have to see. I think maybe this is because this is an entirely new product.
Yeah, I mean, if you consider how long they've given it to just the Pro alone, or the Ultra now,
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense, to be fair. Yeah, I suppose that this might be understandable. Probably call it like, what is it, like 20 minutes for the iPhones and 10 minutes for the AirPods. Something like that. They normally package them up with about an hour. A bit more, maybe.
Someone's asking when is the event time. The event is live, guys. You can kind of see it in the bottom left corner. We have it that small because of copyright issues.
I would sooner just get a Series 8 and stick it in a case.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because it offers very little other than incredibly specific stuff. And you can take the case off. Odd one.
They haven't really explained why they designed that bump like that. Like, what's the reason for that? Obviously, it's to feel the buttons better, I guess. But
I think that
they haven't really explained that.
I think it's because the crown is bigger, so it would look weird if it wasn't surrounded by something. It's to make the crown look more normal, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's no fourth Apple Watch model.
Could just make me wonder if there's not going to be any iPhone at this, right? Just now we're on the AirPods 40 minutes in.
AirPods next, guys.
You've got to wait with the iPhone. They know that. They know what they're doing.
So at least I know that I'm not upgrading to the Apple Watch Series 8, so I'm not going to spend as much.
Can't wait to see that Ultra in person. I can't wait to see the size of that compared to the watches that we currently have.
The Series 7 is already quite
one anyway.
massive,
The big version of it is already quite large.
Yeah, it's quite a large watch.
I've got the smaller Samsung Watch 4. This is big enough for me. I could not have the bigger one. So add 8mm, 7mm to this. 7mm is just such a...
Our most advanced AirPods yet.
Can't wait to hear him ramble on about spatial audio.
Oh, they look the same.
Is that even them? Yeah.
There you go, the AirPods Pro 2. They look exactly the same.
Yeah, literally. Am I right in saying that they're the same design and they're going to sell the case separately? Probably not, but I did wonder.
We have another super chat from Aryan. Thank you.
When's the event? Well, I mean, feel free to rewatch anytime. Can you remove the poll by now?
Yes, I can remove
Just
the
because
poll.
it's currently sitting on the chat still.
68%.
It hasn't removed it from. Oh no, there it goes. That's good.
1.6k votes. Thank you guys for voting.
2/3 of you fancy watching that video. Fair enough, we'll consider it.
A new low distortion audio driver. Okay. Custom amplifier.
Is a.
Thank you for being a member, Ariel. And you're right, 2 hours for the AirPods.
I feel like it's not even the best use of time though. I feel like they should have gone with the Pro so much sooner. People are saying that it's a bit boring, and I think that, yeah, they're kind of losing the touch of it.
Yeah, the Apple Watch Pro, I guess, they wanted to spend that much time because, yeah, it's a new product, but also, I don't know, it's a very niche product. Okay, this is cool. You can do this with the Pixel Buds, I believe, right?
Yeah, this is, yeah, there was a device where you can take a picture of your ear over and it'll recognize the shape.
Yeah, I think this was also leaked. Yeah, so you can use your iPhone to scan with the front-facing camera the shape of your ears.
YouTube's compression cannot handle that background. It does already have spatial audio. Now it's personalized spatial audio. How much of a difference that makes is
we'll have to
impossible to say.
We'll definitely be checking out the AirPods Pro too.
This will be easier to cover than the Watch Ultra.
100%, yeah.
This is more our speed, yeah. It's got like an inside.
Oh wow, so now they can double the amount of noise cancelled. And the AirPods Pros won. They were already really good.
I was going to say, I feel like, what does that even sound like? Because they already pretty much did it all.
Also, they have 4 tips now. Okay.
Lady talks like a robot. Well, they are quite media trained.
Adaptive transparency.
Yeah, so I assume it's all going through until it hears stuff like that, and then it will dumb it down. It's
yeah, I did
to do because the majority of the time it's already dumbed down because it's coming through your headphones and you set the volume almost. Like it's not going to be overwhelming anyway.
Yeah, I did notice that when I was using transparency mode outdoors, sometimes some of the noises were too loud.
Because I feel like noises that are that loud are coming through it no matter what the AirPods are doing. Again, interesting. We'll fire up
touch control, okay.
We'll fire up the circular saw and put it right next to the AirPods.
Yes, thank you. You can now adjust the volume, finally. You don't need an Apple Watch.
Nice. Same pinch control?
Slide up and slide down.
Or for everything?
Or no, just for the volume.
And then pinch for the rest?
Yeah. 6 hours on a single charge, I believe from 4.5 with active noise cancelling and 5 without. Okay, so the case gets a bump too.
It's pretty standard fare, isn't it?
Find My, okay, this was also rumored.
Not in that way, it wasn't.
Hold on. What did they say?
Yeah.
The charging case. There you go.
Yeah.
There we go. So it looks the same as in the leaks, guys. The same.
That is a speaker. Yeah, okay, yeah, there we go. Because I didn't acknowledge that then, yeah. So it's the same pair of AirPods, but with new stuff added
Exactly,
to it.
yeah.
Same case,
And
same
the new
headphones,
case.
yeah.
It's a lightning case,
Yeah,
no
you can
USB-C. That's
Apple
disappointing.
Watch charger now.
MagSafe.
That was added to the previous ones, to be fair, yeah.
And it is a lanyard loop. That's what I believe to be the case. Some of the leaks were saying that it's a system for, what was it called?
Hearing aid.
Hearing aid, yeah.
They don't seem to actually be acknowledging that. This person said, can you please be honest and tell us how disappointed you all are? I wouldn't say disappointed so much as...
I'm disappointed in the Apple Watch Series 8.
Well, that was almost a disappointment prior to the event.
But the AirPods Pros, they look really good. I gotta say.
Yeah, these live up to the sequel that we wanted.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for these.
Given that the previous ones came out in 2017 or whatever it was.
2019, so
Was it
3
19,
years
yeah.
ago, yeah.
The price still stings, doesn't it? 249.
You can order on September the 9th. Okay, so that's a Friday.
They're also available on the
23rd.
23rd.
It's a bit of a mixed bag in terms of release dates.
A Memoji.
You getting these, Connor?
Probably, to be fair.
It's
My
long
battery
overdue,
life
isn't
is,
it, to be fair?
Connor's a big AirPods fan. And I'm also an AirPods Pro user.
No USB-C. You're looking at the wrong company if you're expecting that anytime soon.
Yeah, that's disappointing. There was a rumor that next year they would launch a separate case with USB-C.
It's when they have to, isn't it?
Yeah, when the
pretty
iPhone
much
launches,
when they have to, yeah. And then it'll come with that. So the AirPods was like 7 minutes. So clearly the watch might be the priority here.
Okay, iPhone time, everyone.
Boring white.
iPhone
I suppose
time
it's quite boring that it
begins.
comes in one colour. You're not wrong there.
Okay, this is likely just the standard iPhone 14, and the Pro would be introduced a bit later.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, the Max or the Plus, whatever the name is. I think if they do call it the Plus, that's gonna be even more confusing.
Can we have an F in the chat for the Mini, please? Not coming back. You better like the 13 Mini, because that's all you get.
Oh, the purple looks cool. I think the silver is in the back. There's a new blue. I do
Sierra
like
blue,
that.
Pretty much, isn't it?
Plus,
I mean, yeah, that's about. I figured that was coming. Yeah.
that's so bad. They had the Plus with the iPhone up until the iPhone 8. Then they canned it. They introduced the Max instead of it.
I think the Max.
And now they have both the Max and the Plus.
I think that's but the Max is meant to be the all-out, the best version of everything, isn't it? Yeah. 6.7 inches is too big for these iPhones, I find, but.
Yeah,
why
so
I
it's
haven't
the same
upgraded.
as a Pro Max, just without the camera upgrades really and the notch.
Oh, this is familiar. You can see more text. Remember when they did it with the Apple Watch and it was all faked
Yeah.
when the new 47mm came out?
Is anyone generally interested in the iPhone 14 Plus?
I think it comes down to the price. I think a lot of this comes down to how much it's going to cost because it's nothing particularly new. We've seen this phone.
Oh,
before,
improved
but
thermal performance, so it does have some sort of a
it'll be the
haptic touch. Oh, that's
whatever.
quick. Yeah, upgraded display, which is what I believe to be the case in the last video that we made.
Familiar territory, isn't it? Yeah. I hate that they got rid of the Mini. Did you have a Mini, Paul?
Ceramic shield.
Do you still have the Mini? 'Cause I like the Mini. Same old.
Grainy shaded blue, what's the actual name for that?
Well, it looks like Sierra Blue to me. I mean, I don't think they're going to use the same name, but it looks like they've taken that inspiration. Yeah, the
Best battery life ever in an iPhone.
The 13 Pro Max is going to look like a good buy compared to this one.
Yeah, if you can find a 13 Pro Max at a decent price, obviously get it over this.
I don't see this offering much in its place.
Performance, let's see. Oh, there you go. They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. 5-core GPU. So they're not gonna rename it in that case by the way they're introducing it.
I suppose Pro level is about right, yeah. Yeah, there you go.
18% faster.
That's
Yeah,
the
there you
non-thing,
go.
isn't it? Yeah.
Thank you to Chad for the super chat.
Someone's going to wait for the Tesla phone. Is that a thing?
To be honest, I am happy that they haven't really pulled, you know, a marketing, any false marketing for this, and they just called it for what it is.
Yeah, not quite as deceptive.
Yeah.
God, given that it's the one recycled part, you'd think that it wouldn't be worth this much time.
Okay, so in terms of the camera, just a quick one. We haven't really had any leaks on the iPhone 14's camera, but when I measured the dummy units that we had, it matched the camera from the 13 Pro. So let's see if that's the case. The samples look good, but you know, they always do.
Yeah, so this was never really a problem, was it? Yeah. Same, like if you went, I think you went back about 3 events, they'd be using the same language. All the same
New
stuff.
12 megapixel camera is the main sensor. Larger sensor. There we go. It is the iPhone 13 Pro camera.
The ultra wide. Is it the macro ultra wide? I want to know. I assume so.
I assume so, yeah.
Because it would be good if it was, but you know, maybe not.
It's interesting how they don't specifically say, oh, this is the same camera as from the 13 Pro. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, if you can find a 13 Pro at a decent price, just get it over this, you get a telephoto camera. That's literally what you get. Oh, something that I haven't really noticed is the notch is smaller, right? It has the same notch as the 13 Pros instead of the notch that...
Didn't the 13s have the same notch as the 13 Pro?
No, the 13s. Don't the 13s have the bigger notch?
No, they were all the same.
Oh, okay.
They all got the new notch.
Okay, honestly thought
which was like thinner and
13s
taller,
had the
yeah.
autofocus.
Okay. Yeah, so they're all going to get this, aren't they? Yeah. We aren't sure how much of a difference this will make, because I never really saw focus as a problem with any of the iPhones, but, you know, maybe.
This was also leaked, the upgraded front-facing camera.
Price of the Plus. That's the great debate, isn't it?
People are saying that this is the most boring Apple event ever. It depends.
In parts! Yeah.
I think the AirPods section was pretty good. And yeah, no updates to the AirPods Max. Okay, so we also get improvements to the way that Deep Fusion works. So the image processing has been improved. Let's see. Photonic engine. We have a new member, and that has just joined our live stream.
Might liven it up a bit.
She isn't quite visible, but interesting. So 2x, yeah, the new ultra-wide camera.
There we go, should be back.
So we have some pretty big improvements in terms of the low light performance. Big improvements to video. This is interesting. I'm assuming it's referring to the sensor shifts.
I was about to say this isn't just software, is it?
Yeah.
This is the same thing that they've been using. Yeah, sensor shift. Yeah. What was that called then? Sports mode.
The dog is the best part of this event.
I figured it might liven things up a bit.
I didn't even know she was here.
No, she's been very, very quiet to be fair. So yeah, you've been good, haven't you, Ren?
So realistically, with the iPhone 14's camera, we get the same cameras as on the 13 Pros, so bigger sensors, updated ultra-wide. It doesn't seem like macro mode is here, which is strange.
It
Although it's
surprises
the same
me that
sensor.
they're spending so long on it. When
Yeah.
it is kind of not really that.
Is this the
new.
Dogecoin dog? It is.
See the dome. We can't move the camera. It's all the way over there. I mean, it all comes down to if you own a device from a few years ago, then these are quite good. But if you're looking at it from a year-on-year perspective, yeah, it isn't particularly impressive. But
Yeah,
that's kind of standard fare for Apple, really. Yeah.
Apple isn't expecting you to upgrade from last year's model. Like, there's very, very few people that actually do that. So, of course, we do it because that's our job to cover
But we
these
kind of
things.
bring them in and out, though, don't
Yeah.
we? We aren't necessarily use them in the same way. Yeah. But yeah, Apple knows that you're not going to get a new one every year, so they don't. They kind of game it a little bit. Yeah, they wait and leave features for longer.
So they're talking about improvements to eSIM, and they're saying that you can quickly transfer plans now and store multiple eSIMs. This has already been the case. So I'm curious what is actually different here. I've never actually used an eSIM, by the way, just because I change my phones quite often, and in that case, it's way more convenient to just, remove the SIM.
Yeah, it's a nice idea in theory, the eSIM, but the reality is quite as useful.
Oh, this is big. All US models no longer have a SIM tray.
So you don't have to deal with a physical SIM anymore.
This is awesome.
I'm getting headphone jack vibes here.
I kept saying over the years how back when my iPhone was stolen, if I had eSIM support, that wouldn't.
Well,
I would have still been able to locate it.
I think modern day they've even clocked onto that. You can buy like containers that block all signals and stuff, and even that's kind of been
Crash
cancelled
detection
out.
coming to the 14. To be honest, there are some nice upgrades. I'll give it that.
So the phone is getting the same thing, yeah, with the same gyroscope, yeah.
So I guess the question is, does it work as well as the Apple Watch? Or does it work even better? As in that case.
I assume it can because it's not on you, but then again, the iPhone could be in your pocket. Is that much different?
What if it's just in the car? Charging on the wireless charging. In that case, I think it should detect it even
might
better.
be like plugged in or whatever while it's being used. You don't really know, do you? Whereas the watch is guaranteed to be in one place, really. I like when they did the transitions around their own, or around the Apple campus type thing, but now they just keep going to different other places.
Oh? Is this it? Satellite connectivity? It is. I think this is it, guys. The feature that has been rumored for the past 2+ years is finally coming.
Worth remembering as well, guys. This isn't just like 5G anywhere. This is only like messaging and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This isn't some like infinite cellular.
If you
as
go,
the use case here is, isn't it?
exactly, it's a very specific use case, and to be honest, it can be a lifesaver. I was reading the story of these two girls that vanished in the Amazon, and both had their phones, both iPhones. This was a few years ago, and they kept on conserving the battery, like trying to find signal to call the emergency services, and in the end, they just weren't able to do so.
Yeah, well, certain areas it's like, yeah. It comes down to being prepared, and if you aren't, you can run into these problems, yeah.
Who's excited for this feature?
A feature that you get excited about?
To be honest, I do quite like it.
It's about as exciting as the car crash detection is. There's a very good chance you're never going to use it, but it's a good mentality to have these kind of things. There's no harm in it, that's for sure. So building it in is no problem. Give it a few years, I imagine this will be completely normal.
Even sending a text message is a technical challenge. They invent another way, so they design and build custom components and specific software.
It comes with a lot
So you need to be pointing.
It comes with a lot of like specifics.
Oh, interesting. So it shows you where to point your iPhone.
People are saying Apple X Starlink, you couldn't be more wrong. This is a totally different thing, completely different.
Interesting. Less than 15 seconds to send the message if you have a clear view of the
Very
sky.
specific, isn't it? Very specific circumstances.
That's pretty good.
It can be done.
Okay. So you get some sort of questionnaire.
This is good.
This is really, really good. It
It's
speeds
like,
up the
what do you want to
process,
hear?
yeah.
And then they built something. They built something to essentially like, oh, here's exactly what you need, yeah. Why do I get the impression this is US only because of all this side of things?
I hope it's not, but I guess we'll have to see.
They say they talk to emergency service people, but I'm going to assume that's only in the US. Yeah, it could translate, but there's a lot of different scenarios.
I mean, it definitely gives you the peace of mind. You can just go into the wilds and not really care if something happens and you're out of signal.
To a similar degree, though, we sat there looking at the Apple Watch Pro saying, who would ever need this? Who would ever need this?
Yeah.
But this is no different. This is the same thing, the same kind of, why would we ever need this? Why would we ever need this? Yeah. Luckily, you'd have to pay for this one specifically, so it's a little different.
Emergency SOS via satellite. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait for 2 years. Available in November.
Yeah, US and Canada.
Okay.
Exactly.
We're starting with US and Canada.
Exactly what I would have expected.
Wait, free for 2 years, so then you'll have to pay for it.
I'm going to assume you're paying the satellite provider. Yeah. Wonder how much it costs.
I wasn't expecting this. So how much is it gonna cost? Because it's one of those things, if you feel like you're never gonna use it, you won't pay for it. But then imagine if you're actually going to be in one of these situations. So if anything...
Oh God, help me. Sorry, we can. Your subscription has ended.
Yeah.
It's a bit backwards, isn't it? You'd think this is something they would want to provide.
It's like insurance.
Yeah,
if
for the kind of
anything.
means of like, oh, we'll look after you.
Apple should provide this for free. It's so weird. Like, you either have it or you don't. This in-between feels just sort of like a money grab.
Someone's claimed there's no more cable now. Let's see if that's the case.
Oh, is that a new box? That looks cool. I think that's the new wallpaper.
Same as the old box, isn't it? Is it the back of the phone on the other boxes?
I don't remember. I think it is the front.
Only in US and Canada, and everyone's just like, well, forget that feature then. It's Apple, guys. They only do things for the US at first.
Collect call to the satellite. Yeah, that's pretty much how it is.
The guy in the middle looks
So I gotta say, it does have more features than what I was expecting.
Connor's borderline a fanboy as well. He just doesn't own as many products. And even he's bought.
Not as impressive as T-Mobile and Sterling, says Tom. That is true.
Well, that isn't out yet, Tom.
$899. Okay, that was the price that was the most likely option.
If we know anything about Elon Musk, what was said at that event will not happen for a good while yet. So let's not compare them. Yeah, $899.
It's not too bad.
No iPhone other than the SE that starts from less than 800. That's quite a lot of money. I recently just bought an S22, 580 quid after a few discounts. Less than 600 quid.
September the 9th, so it is this Friday. 16th. Okay, so next week.
What?
Oh, plus. Okay, so the plus is delayed. Interesting.
The big one is quite considerably later.
A month, almost a month later.
So the only thing that we'd get is the one that we already have seen. There's nothing exciting about the smaller one. It's like almost entirely the same.
The red looks very vibrant. I'm not sure if that's our TV.
It looks unrealistically vibrant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like how can it possibly glow like that?
I really do like that blue, I gotta say.
What about the astrophotography? I thought that was what the whole banner meant. On the Pros,
I think that's probably just the Pro.
Not likely on the... Unless that literally did mean the satellite side of life. You know, maybe that is simply what it meant and we just all thought it was camera time.
Best battery life ever. So here's the thing, they're claiming that the 14 Plus has the best battery life ever in an iPhone. What about the 14 Pro Max when that launches? Will they say the same thing? Does that mean that it's worse than the 14 Plus?
Maybe the high resolution, the high refresh rate display is going to mess with that idea, yeah.
But then at the same time, that has ProMotion. So that should, in theory...
You'd think, wouldn't you? Yeah, you'd assume that wouldn't matter, but... Hasn't stopped them from saying that, yeah.
Seems like you guys are quite disappointed in the iPhone 14 lineup, judging from your comments.
I think we were very interested, honestly.
I think the most surprising thing to me is that the satellite connectivity is essentially a subscription service.
Well...
Or will be after the first 2 years.
Yeah.
That's so weird. That's so messed up.
I think when you get, although feel free to correct me in the chat, I think when you get an iPhone, a satellite phone, you still need to pay for a plan.
Oh, do you?
I believe so, yeah, because you've got to pay the people who provide the satellite service.
Mm-hmm.
I guess similar to how you pay for a... Yeah, I think that's it. Like how you pay for a SIM for your phone.
Mm-hmm.
The satellite is not the same thing. You need to pay someone else for that.
I wonder how much that is. Mm-hmm. Does anyone know, guys? Feel free to leave a comment.
Feel free to give us a ballpark figure. We don't know at all, so feel free to just kind of throw out other equivalents out there.
Oh, Tim is wearing the Apple Watch Ultra. And now we have the Pro models. And the new purple. There we go. The new purple. Oh. Oh, the animations are cool.
Okay, that's interesting.
That's cool.
Ooh,
This is really
nice,
cool.
actually.
Wow, I really like this. This feels so Apple.
Oh, they've really like tapped into that idea, haven't they?
Okay, I'm impressed. I gotta say, the software integration is so cool.
That's really interesting. I did not expect them to use it that much. Interesting that entire video was all about that notch. Like, nothing else for the most part.
The biggest design changes, really.
Other than
the color and the pill cutout. I'm curious how they will actually call this.
Status bar?
So same as before, stainless steel.
Ceramic shield. Yeah, there it is.
4.
Where is Craig?
Space black. Oh.
That's nice.
Okay, it is darker. Guys, you know which one I'm getting.
It's darker anyway, isn't it? Yeah, it's not
100%.
Not matte black like stealthy, but yeah, it is definitely darker. Wow, look at that.
It's 30% smaller. Interesting, okay.
It's clever. If you're going to have it, you may as well use it.
Exactly, yeah.
Obviously, some people would rather not have it in the first place. Would I get their idea?
What? Dynamic island?
That's the Apple we know and love. That is right there, yeah. Liquid Retina, you say? LCD.
It's definitely more...
the Dynamic Island, did they just say?
It's a more fun name than a pill plus whole canal. That's
brilliant. just like, it's like the second they out themselves. I mean, it's brilliant. I love it. It's a smarter use than we could have expected. Fair play, Apple.
The animations are so cool, I gotta say.
I'm surprised they don't seem to be cropping over the actual bit that is meant to be black. They kind of go around it perfectly.
Yeah. It's so cool, and you get this mini player.
It's like a mini control center.
Yeah, exactly.
For a very specific thing that's at the time.
It seems like all of you guys really, really like it.
Good luck reaching on the Pro Max.
Yeah. That's true.
I think you'd rather have it on the bottom, to be honest.
It looks so fun. Just using it like that, it looks so good. Even with directions, I really like it, honestly. It's so good.
It's clever. It's like a status bar, but a bit more dynamic. A bit more specific, but a bit more dynamic.
Okay.
I guess.
So you can be in a different app. This is cool. So you can be in messages and see where your Uber is, or in this case,
Lyft. It's pretty much an Android-style status bar, but now kind of made for the iPhone almost, like in a really clean way.
Super chat from Arion. Once again, thank you. Big win with that notch animations. They look cool AF. Thank you.
It's a good touch.
They do, yeah.
It's a great use of it. I can't believe no one actually had realized this might be the case.
I wonder how they haven't done this with the notch. Like, they could have done something similar with the notch.
It could be that thing again, just holding on until they've got it how they want it, and then just going, this is what we're offering. That seems very polished.
It's so cool. Yeah, it looks
like
amazing.
Just all of them, especially the AirPods one. It's just very smart.
Yeah.
The most advanced display. Let's see.
Just tell us about the always on display. Just get on with it.
Same size as before. Thinner borders. Okay, that's something that was rumored.
I'm going to assume that size of the island there is the size it is by default.
Yeah. Okay, so even brighter display.
So buying Samsung.
Oh wow, the same brightness as the Pro Display XDR and the new MacBooks. That's impressive.
That's about the level of standard Samsung have set, though, isn't it? Isn't that basically a
2,000 nits outdoors? I think it's higher.
2,000 nits outdoors?
No one has the highest peak brightness of any smartphone. There we go. 2,000 nits. I'm excited. I'm really excited to get a 14 Pro.
Got in the way is kind of an eyesore. I mean, you're not wrong.
There we go.
Always on display.
Satellite phones are £40 a month for 15 minutes. Big
thank you, Jack.
That's very expensive, and that really does help give context. So maybe the Apple one will be expensive. Paid by the minute does make sense, like phones used to.
Yeah, 1 Hz minimum refresh rate. Shout out to Russ Young for getting this right.
And it stays like that?
Seems like it.
That's interesting. That's quite, you know, full of stuff. Really?
Interesting, that's very bright, yeah.
There's almost nothing is turned off.
Running 60 FPS, so the resolution is increased.
This is an interesting iPhone.
Dynamic Island promotion.
The dynamic island, the always on display, certainly makes you wonder.
Thank you, Carm, for your donation. The purple is what I wanted. It's lit.
Isn't that battery consuming? Yes, but to what extent? It's kind of hard to say.
Oh, so it is interesting. It's not 5, it's not 3, it's a 4nm process.
I guess this is what we expected, isn't it? The Pros kind of brought the real worth changes, and the classic Apple nearest competitor.
They used to disclose who that was, but
yeah, well, I don't think the gap is as big, because like that, what does that even mean? That's not going to be the Snapdragon. I don't think. I think that's going to be a very specific thing they've chosen. But the more vague it is, the more it looks better for them. So.
Interesting. So it looks like the changes are actually bigger than we expected with the A16. Okay. Yeah, the iPhone 14 Pros look better than expected so far, so pretty good.
Have to have gone up in price, I suppose, is a question. But it looks like a pretty solid choice. Still going to have Lightning. Breaks my heart, because I'd probably get one of them if I could.
A new display engine in the A16. Okay, enables 1 Hz refresh rate, always on capability, right? Interesting, so they have a specific chip for the dynamic island.
The most Apple way of putting anything forward I've ever seen. We developed entire hardware just to do
an animation.
Like, it's just. I feel like sometimes they really do take us for fools.
Okay, let's see. Camera time. This is, like I said, what I'm excited for the most.
That is a big camera island.
Yeah, I was gonna say the camera island. You could say,
half the size
yeah,
of the phone,
it's
if
huge.
not more. No more SIM card for the US. That is true. eSIM or die at this point.
Quad pixel sensor. So that is pixel binning 4:1. Interesting. I think it's a bit wider.
Is that wider or sharp?
I think it's wider.
Certainly sounds like it from what he's saying. Because it's favoured in photography, or whatever he said.
There we go. That's literally the pixel binning technology.
Interesting. I wondered if Apple would never integrate this and kind of embrace the 12 megapixel all the way, but they're not.
Okay, so from the looks of it, the photo result that you'll be getting will still be 12 megapixels.
Yeah, to be fair, like everywhere else, isn't it? Everyone else is the same.
Oh wow, they're claiming a 2x improvement in low light photography compared to the 13 Pro. But the question is, will that apply to video too?
I'd assume not, but maybe.
They specifically said photos. That's pretty good. This one is a bit blurry.
I almost wonder if that's the point.
Changing the camera app because they've got all the info on the bottom right.
Yeah. Now, it could also be the stream quality.
Well, I mean, it's just kind of like, you look at the photos they showed for the 13 when they talked about this, and they all looked similar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, high contrast and stuff like that. We've seen this every year at this point. I imagine it will be a very good camera. It won't be the best, but it'll be very, very good. and do an awful lot and probably be worth more than any other.
Oh, what? A new 2x telephoto?
Well, I assume that's 40 megapixels cropped.
I'm assuming, yeah. Okay.
Full resolution's a bit of a loose way of phrasing that, yeah. We've seen this on the Samsung S20 with that 64 megapixel telephoto. It never is quite as clean as that.
They're phrasing it in a very strange way, as if it's actually a hardware sensor, but it's...
I think they're trying to use it as it's like a software feature to integrate and kind of show you, oh look, you've got the Pro. I feel like that's kind of the point. To be fair, I see what they mean. If you take a 12 megapixel and times 2 that, you're not going to get as nice, yeah. But it won't be as good as a 2x telephoto.
Okay, so 48 megapixel photos are possible if you shoot it RAW. If you don't, they'll be 12 megapixels. If you guys look in the background, you'll see a lot of Pro tools. There's a 60-inch MacBook Pro, a Pro Display XDR, a Mac Studio.
Yeah, I do like a high resolution photo. Yeah. It just looks so sharp.
Now, of course, you do need a lot of light to take these shots. So I'm curious if you can also take raw photos in the 12 megapixel bin mode for better low light performance. I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm sure so.
A new ultrawide, which was rumored by Ming-Chu Kuo.
Yeah, that's better in low light, I assume, all that kind of stuff.
Wow, 3x improvement in low light. That's huge over the 13 Pro.
To be fair, wasn't the 13 Pro pretty
It was pretty good.
bad? No, on the ultra wide, wasn't it pretty bad?
So it could use night mode.
But it still was pretty. I just remember
compared to the main, it was
the ultra wide wasn't very
considerably worse.
competitive, unlike the main. Yeah, the main was quite competitive.
When was the last time you actually used the flash? Because I haven't used it in years.
Yeah.
Oh, you can use the ultra wide with the flash. I'm pretty sure that
That's
wasn't
cool.
the case before. I would take it if they said it was a 2 times better, like brighter torch. I'd be like, great.
So significant improvements in low light performance.
Everything's a bit vague again. Up to so and so better, up to so and so brighter. It's like, okay. We will definitely be taking some photos.
So what about 8K video? Let's see. Is that something that they're going to talk about? I think so. They haven't talked about. There you go, Pro video.
Straight away, yeah.
Action mode.
I thought they called that sports mode before, but yes.
Oh, there we go. This is good. Cinematic mode.
frames per
4K
second.
30 from 1080p 30. So that's a huge upgrade.
Can you?
I guess it's just too much processing for. It looks really good, I gotta say.
You ever use it?
I've never used it outside of art testing.
Brilliant. A classic feature from Apple right there, yeah. Oh, it's really good that. I never use it.
Mostly because it was 1080p. So hopefully now that it's 4K, I will.
I'd almost put money you are never going to use it still. Samsung's had that for like 5 years and no one's ever touched that, yeah. I don't think people want it, yeah. But it's, you know, again, that mentality, put as much as you can
So
in.
action mode, ceramic shield, emergency SOS, improved brightness,
A solid
photonic
offering.
engine.
Yeah, it tastes pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean-
14 Pro, pretty good upgrade, I gotta say.
I think if you're coming from a 12 Pro, which doesn't even have ProMotion, this is such a dead certified,
It seems like
absolute
there's no
perfect.
8K, guys. No 8K video from the looks of it at all.
No.
I don't blame
They
them.
did say you could crop in to the 12 megapixel sensor.
Yeah, you can crop in, so maybe it's just used for that.
8K just hasn't got an audience yet. Like, no one owns 8K TVs and stuff like that, so I don't blame them for not bothering there.
Ooh, this looks good.
Now, what's the price?
Is it going to be more expensive like the rumors predicted? Or is it going to be the same price?
The lack of the big telephoto zoom is really holding Apple back here, I feel.
Are we going to get astrophotography? That is my question. A low light shot, I guess.
This is interesting. That's really weird.
So I don't know if you guys remember, in one of our very first videos when Always On was rumored for the iPhone 14, that's when we didn't know how it would actually work. And I was saying that maybe it's going to work like the Apple Watch faces, where they do get dimmed if you have a full image.
Did you see the animation? Because it was music, it got flicked up to the island
Oh, this is cool.
to then be up in the island. Like, that's really clever and interesting. I like that a lot. So it's a shifted control center, yeah. I feel like that's the worst place for it, right at the top, but I like it.
I'm really excited to try out the camera. Yeah. Hopefully in a camera comparison for you guys.
It has the means to be really good, but yeah, like, will it be that much better? I'd assume not.
48
but,
megapixel Pro RAW.
What colours for the Pro? It was like a deep black, white, gold, and purple.
Yeah.
This is interesting. They printed off the photos on some gigantic.
Because of the resolution.
Yeah.
I do really like taking 50 megapixel stills, to be fair. They're not quite as easy to share because they're so big, but they look
They do
awesome.
look super sharp. Yeah.
Like the
that's
zoom, when you pinch in, it's just like amazing. It's like up to the telescope. These games are so
true. Yeah. Cinematic mode. This does look really good at cinematic mode, I gotta say.
The classic, you better really like pull focus, because that's all you're going to be doing with that mode. I like the advert.
Car crash detection. Well, let's see. This is the first
Just
first
cinematic
demo.
version of this. Is that phone mounted on the window? Where is it mounted? Oh, it's on the dashboard.
What happens if you like drop your phone off a roof?
The phone gets totaled.
Oh yeah.
I know what you mean. Will it be able to tell the difference? I think so. I'm assuming it will also be using the GPS when you're in the car to tell that you're moving.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I assume it bases off the basic principle of a rapid change in motion.
Mm-hmm.
You've gone from smoothly drifting around to bang, suddenly stopped, gyroscopes all over the place. You know, Google's built this in already, and for good reason. It's quite easy to read, basically. Got to test the crash feature.
Oh, it's the same price.
Hey, that's good.
Hey.
Okay. So
That's a good. That makes it a very
That's-
good option, really. Then I mean,
that's
it's still
better than
expensive,
expected. up to $1,000. Wow, that's a lot. When you
but-
trade.
Hold on. The phone is $1,000.
Wait, so if you trade in.
Right. Okay. So they both come on the 16th.
Uh huh.
Wow. Look at the color of the 13.
Oh, so they're keeping the 13.
for the same price as the 12. That's an odd choice.
Wait.
Why would you possibly buy the 12?
I just realized. That's a typo. That has to be a typo.
Does it mean starting from that price for the Mini and the other one is 100 more?
But they both have a Mini.
The 12 didn't have a Mini in that picture though. The only one that had a Mini in that was the 13.
Okay, maybe.
And they had the same price.
Maybe that was the 13 Mini from the same, for the same price as the
$599 for the Mini, $599 for the 12, $699 for the 13, $799 for the 14. Yeah, 100 up over and over and over again. Was saying one more thing? I would not expect one. Forgot about that already.
Yeah, same.
I mean, it doesn't apply to us, does it? So
no,
why would we have remembered it? Like, it's just not. It's not even applicable to our lifestyle.
The thing is, I feel like even the Apple Watch Edition had a bigger market share.
Well,
than this.
I get the impression that is more of Apple pitching their brand identity than doing it for money's sake. I think they want to look like proper outdoors, like sport, like Garmin essentially.
Maybe, yeah.
They want to look like Garmin to compete.
Even if they don't
Garmin.
sell as many, yeah.
Because obviously the Apple Watch Edition didn't necessarily compete with a different brand, whereas that does to a certain degree. It is a hideous thing though. Every time they're wearing them, I'm just like, it looks like one of those kids' walkie-talkies.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, get a little aerial sticking out the top of it, and there you go.
Just missing the antenna.
It literally is. Yeah. There's going to be a case. Can you imagine putting a case on that? It's an iPhone Mini. It's twice as thick as one of those things. AirPod wasn't that big of an upgrade. It was a worthwhile upgrade.
Yeah, though. I think the biggest upgrades were the AirPods and the iPhone 14 Pro.
I think the AirPods had kind of fallen behind because of all the ones that have come out since. So it needed a sequel, but it didn't need to do that much. It just needed to improve the noise cancelling, improve the battery, improve the sound. What more do they do for the most part, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so it seems like the event has wrapped up.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, picked up at the end.
It's on brand, isn't it? I mean, the 14 Pro clearly is a good choice.
Is the store live yet?
So I guess now we can spend some time answering your questions, guys, and just talk about the event, our thoughts, your thoughts in general, and maybe even talk about some content that we will be doing in the next few days. So should we start with the Apple Watch, our thoughts on the Apple Watch?
I feel like we've already made our thoughts perfectly clear throughout all of this, though. I think it's a lot of Apple's watch-based stuff nowadays is very much not aimed at the majority user base. Apple sell a lot of stuff to the generic consumer. Like, that is their big consumer base. But a lot of the features, like car crash detection, are incredibly niche, and no one really knows when they're going to use it. Hopefully never. Even the temperature sensor, again, don't really have much of a use case for it. It's all kind of like Apple making themselves sound better, but on our end, we don't really see much from it. So it's the usual kind of upgrades. I mean, the Apple Watch has always been good. It always will be good. It didn't need to get better. So it just comes down to the individual as to what you want to spend your money on, I think. The Ultra, again, doesn't apply to any of us. Absolutely bizarre looking thing. But
yeah, the Ultra's strange.
I see why they've bothered. I see why they've bothered to make it. I think that's perfectly fair enough.
Yeah, at least they kept the price somewhat.
Let's see, is the Apple the Apple website is now live.
Yeah, I'm on it now. You tell me what to go to if you want to talk about something.
Yeah, I think we should start with the Apple Watch and see what the website says, if there's any new updates. By the way, there's close to 5,000 of you, so a lot of you have actually come back after the event.
Look at those comments.
Yeah, a lot of you have come back after the event.
Oh my god.
So let's mute the TV. Okay, and let's have a quick look on Apple's website.
I think we missed a teaser for VR.
Oh, for real now?
Well, some people are saying it.
Hold on. Okay, can you bring it up again?
No, because it won't be live yet.
Guys, did we actually miss something? For real.
What did he say?
Don't tell me we missed something big. Okay, let me quickly go on YouTube and let me check. So, Apple event.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it'll be live. Like, the recap of it.
Okay, it is live. Okay, we won't really be able to play this. Anything at the end?
What did we miss? Like,
guys, are you trolling us?
something very specific, it seems.
Some comments are saying that we missed it. You missed the virtual reality post-credit scene. Okay, so I'm just looking at the video right now. Okay, I've opened a new YouTube page. I'm trying to see if there is anything that we missed. I'm not able to play the volume,
Have
essentially.
a great day.
Thank you for joining us. Have a great day. And then it transitions to the Apple events invite.
Oh,
And then there's a train subway scene.
how is that AR? What am I
Oh, you mean the train scene at the end, the subway scene with the lady disappearing? Is that what you guys mean? Apple train. Okay, so that's what you guys mean.
What do they mean?
The train thing.
But what about it? Like, how is that AR?
The fact that the lady disappears.
But how is that AR?
I don't know. Maybe implying
In what
that.
world is that an AR to?
Maybe implying that. Okay, I guess maybe.
To me, she looks like the woman from Severance, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
I don't know if that's me just completely throwing.
No, I think you're right.
all your
I've seen.
realities out the window.
I think it might be that Severance. Yeah, I've seen Severance. And
I don't think that's got anything to do with AR, because I think if it was, they would have made that a bit more, I don't know, obvious.
Yeah.
Like, I get that people are saying she's like an AR person, but what kind of feature is that for an AR device? You can put people there that you never want. Why would that be something they want?
Exactly.
I don't know. I thought people were going to say, like, I don't know, something popped up that showed them where to go or whatever on the train or something, but there's literally nothing about that is something that we're looking from an AR device, so I don't really think so. Interesting that they've put that in there, though.
Very interesting, yeah.
I like that.
Someone saying AR version of Siri. Who knows? Maybe.
Why would anyone want that, though?
That would be weird.
Why would you want that? Like,
A physical Siri. But let's go.
this isn't Facebook.
Sorry, there's Jack who's asking. He's saying that the UK prices are actually higher on the iPhones. So if you go to the UK website, let's see, is that a case?
Yeah, from $10.99.
Wait, for the Pro?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Oh, so they are more expensive in the UK. Okay,
yeah,
thank you, Apple.
From $10.99.
We really appreciate that.
Apple strikes again. Ooh, 14 Pro Max starts from $1,200.
Okay, so they did get more expensive, but just not in the US.
Oh boy.
That's what it looks like. So let's see. If you go to
Space Black does look pretty nice. 99. Yeah. And naturally, yeah, the trading prices naturally are a bit average. I mean, for yours, honey, you get 300 quid, which I suppose is
Oh
alright.
yeah, so that's 270 actually. Yeah.
270.
Yeah.
Oh, you were at 12.
I just checked it a minute ago. It said 270
Dollars.
pounds.
I got 315 on here.
Are you able to zoom in the camera a bit more, Harry?
On us,
On us, yeah.
you'd have to go and reframe it. It would need to be reframed in the
in
camera
pre.
itself.
Okay, no worries then. Okay, so let's go on Apple's website in that case, and
I'm on it. I'm on it now. Yeah.
you on it now.
Well, that's what's on the stream. Yeah.
I'm seeing something else on the stream.
Yeah. Might be a bit behind to
Not
be
on my
fair.
stream. I'm not. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'm not live actually. I was okay. That's fine.
All the iPhone 14s, all the various colours. The iPhone 14 starts from $849. How much do the AirPods cost?
Surely they're the same.
$250.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So
And the AirPods don't come until a little bit later.
$249 for the AirPods. Yeah, if you go to the Apple Watch.
Yeah, which one?
The Apple Watch, let's start with the Series 8. Let's see, what does Apple say? So they have the Ultra on the main page.
Well, they're four big things: temperature sensing, advanced health features, crash detection, and enhanced workout app. So literally all health. Not a single one of them.
They do seem to have some new colors for the straps. There's a beautiful white strap that looks awesome. The solo loop in white.
They've brought back the regular silver.
Yeah.
So
which is nice.
they still sell the Nike edition, and the edition is fully gone.
Yeah. Yeah, the edition being gone is kind of...
But why do they still sell the... Oh, it's just the bands. Oh, okay. That's
yeah,
odd.
silver has returned. That's nice to see.
Yeah, at least you don't have the black or the space gray anymore. You only have the midnight, but at least you have the silver if you really wanted a pure white. Or a neutral color, let's say.
Hermes, Apple Watch. Oof. Really expensive. I didn't realize it was that much. 1,400 basically. £1,400. Blimey.
Oh, something interesting. If you go to the compare page for the Apple Watches, there's actually no way to compare the Series 8 with the Series 7. So they automatically compare it with the SE and the Ultra.
You can't compare any of them, can you? You can only compare the ones that they've just released, more or less.
Yeah, so if I go to... Yeah, you cannot side-by-side compare them. So that's probably why Apple has done this.
It's like when the XS came out.
The
and they
changes are
tried
too small.
to scrub the iPhone 10 from the face of the earth. It was
Yeah.
like, forget it ever existed, buy this one instead.
Thank you to
But they're so similar.
Are
One.
we doing a video on the Ultra?
Yeah,
Because
well,
you can buy it now.
you can buy now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pre-orders are literally now, yeah. I
Okay,
imagine that they're
right.
probably going to go pretty quick, 'cause there's probably not many of them.
Well, in that case, I have to pre-order some stuff now quickly.
But
let me
doing
see.
doing an Apple Watch Ultra versus a Watch 5 Pro video seems like an obvious choice, given that they're the only two products that are competing. They're even a similar color if you buy the brown one.
Can you guys have a quick look at what is available to order right now?
Just the watch, just the Ultra as far as
Just
I
the
was
Ultra.
aware. Yeah, because everything else was on Friday.
Yeah. God, this delivers the 23rd. Yeah.
See
See you tomorrow, Zara.
Siren.
Yeah, even the Ultra's more expensive in the UK. $850.
Look at Australian pricing. Jordan, tell us it as it is. Is it really, really bad? They forgot the iPad. I don't think the iPad was ever intended to be there.
Probably be October for the iPad.
Any news about the vapor cooling chamber system? If there is, they didn't necessarily say about it.
No, they
I
just
think it's
said
there.
improved cooling.
Yeah, I do think it's in there, but I don't think they feel like people need to know about it because it's too niche. I think people are kind of like, Apple's kind of like, well, they wouldn't know what it is anyway, so don't bother spending time on it, I guess. Can't believe they spent 40 minutes on the Apple Watch. I wonder if everyone was a bit like, oh my god, just move on.
Okay, I'm gonna try and get the Ultra. See if I can.
That doesn't. Hear it through your headphones.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna get. I can pick between a lot of configurations.
Well, they're all the same watch, aren't they?
Yeah, the
Just
bands
a
are
band.
different. I think I'm gonna go with the titanium case with orange alpine loop. I think that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
See, the fact they've only made
49
one
mil.
version of it speaks to me about...
Wow, so it's £849 in the UK.
Yeah.
September 23rd delivery.
Yeah.
That was the case, right?
Yeah.
A lot of it is that, yeah. I think the only ones that
Okay.
aren't that is stuff like a few of the iPhones.
Okay, I can also add more bands. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna
You
basically
have the two
pick
unique ones.
Ocean Band Extension, Trail Loop. Okay, let's
There's
get
three
that.
unique bands, so we may as well
And
consider what they're like. Yeah.
Alpine Loop. Okay, so I've ordered the other bands too, so that we have them and you guys can see them on the video. Wow. So okay, one of the bands is coming in September. The other band is coming in November, end of November.
November?
Yeah,
What's the point?
18th of November. So let me quickly try and exchange that band with a different one.
14 Pro doesn't start from 256, like it was suggested.
Trail Loop.
Start
Okay.
from 128.
Currently unavailable. Okay, so it looks like the Trail Loop is not available.
Pre-order from Friday afternoon for the 14 Pro, yeah.
So it's just the Apple Watch Ultra. for now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a mixed bag, but majority of it is on Friday. That was the iPhone, that was, but let's just check that.
Oh, you can get the Series 8 as well.
I think the watches, maybe
can you?
I think maybe the SE as well.
Yeah, you can get the Series 8 as well.
Okay, I'm not gonna get the band, guys. The one that gets delivered in November. I'm sorry, it's just too late, and you know it's similar.
We're not
in the
going to make
end.
an Apple Watch videos in November.
No,
That's a guarantee.
right.
Yeah,
so
again,
let's see.
all the Apple Watches are the same kind of window. You see?
Oh. Are we getting an SE?
Probably not, no. I mean,
not
frankly, no one
really,
cares about
no.
the SE.
Yeah, I was going to say.
We'll be getting a Series
about how
8.
ridiculous the prices are in their country. Remember, guys, Apple heavily favors America and heavily favors California. You got to remember that a lot of their WWDC stuff tends to come to California and stuff first, and a few others. That is them. That is their industry. They own America, and they kind of don't really need to own much more other than that. The rest of us can just pay more, unless you don't buy iPhones.
Okay, I'm almost done ordering the Apple Watch Ultra. Just a few more minutes, then I'm gonna get the Series 8. You won't be able to see my screen, but Harry will show you the Apple Watch pages in the meantime.
The bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, so green Alpine loop, orange Alpine loop. Oh yeah, the orange is nice, isn't it? Yeah. I suppose that is a natural colour titanium. The trail loop seems like an incredibly thin piece of Velcro strap. Alpine loop, I like it. I think it's more of a looks than a functionality thing, but fair enough. And the ocean band, I don't really understand how the ocean band works. I don't really understand how that, like, does it just get held in place by, like, resistance? Because nothing
Possibly.
is looped through anything here.
Okay, so the Apple Watch Ultra has been ordered. We got the orange one, so the one with the orange Alpine loop band. And then I've also ordered the yellow ocean band, which is the really weird one with those ridges. So that's ordered.
Oh, have you got one of the ocean ones? Good, yeah, because I think it's bizarre looking.
I couldn't get the third one. That's the one that was only shipping in November.
Yeah, nothing you can do about that. Yeah.
Okay, 23rd of September, there were no pickup options, so at some point on Friday we'll get them. We have no idea when. So yeah, let me just get the Series 8 in the meantime.
AirPods Pro 2nd Gen are not available yet, are they?
Don't think so.
So with the
Starting
Series
on Friday.
8, let's see.
Yeah, on the 9th, 2 days away.
So the stainless steel colors, they look exactly the same, no changes. So in that case, I'm just gonna get an aluminum one. Should we say we could get midnight
What's this one
or
called? Sorry, the
product red or silver?
cheap watch.
No, the Series 8.
Oh, sorry, cheaper. Yeah, I would almost say the silver myself, because I'm very curious about. just
What do you
how
guys want?
generic
Vote.
silver it is. What else we choose?
Let us know what color of the Apple Watch Series 8 we should get.
Starlight is the same. Midnight is the same. Is that pretty much it? Red. We're not getting the red one. Okay, there's not many colours to pick from anyway, actually. I would
Okay,
vote silver.
comments are now coming. Product red, midnight, midnight.
Didn't we get the midnight one last year?
We did get a
Yeah,
midnight
we
last
did.
year, yeah.
Yeah, I would say the new colour.
Shout out to Daniel.
Silver.
Dev.
Yeah, it's the only colours different from last year. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say silver to be fair.
Okay, silver it is. Starlight. Yeah, just loads of comments. We're gonna get a silver with the white solo loop. I think that looks really good.
We got midnight last year. You can go back and watch those videos.
And we can pick between a 41 mil or a 45. I think we should go with a 41 this time.
It doesn't tend to line up so great when we compare it against other stuff, though.
Mm-hmm.
Everything we own is not the small one.
No, you're right.
Including
A side-by-side
the small one,
comparison,
including
yeah.
any of the ones we get off Amazon. They're never the small one, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get a 45 in that case. Okay.
Yeah, 45mm GPS. Just that's
Went to
it,
the
really.
20. Okay, 16th. So I can actually pick it up on the 16th. This one. So
It's almost not worth
next
it,
Friday.
If they're all coming. I suppose we could start with it, yeah.
And that was pretty much it. The iPhones are The pre-order is
That's all
starting
on Friday, yeah. Same for the AirPods. Any new accessories for things?
Right, so I'm gonna pick it up on Friday, 9 a.m. No, I can only, yeah, so the pickup location is actually one that's a bit further away, but that's fine.
Oh, blimey, it's $100 for these like adventure bands.
Oh, yeah, they're expensive, aren't they?
They're all just like rubber and fabric. I know it's Apple, isn't it? Yeah,
Well,
that's
yeah.
the price you pay, isn't it? They do look nice. I mean, I really like the Alpine one. That's a really cool idea. So I guess those are the rules that are set by Apple. Does the iPhone 14 Pro have a pause button on the video camera? It's a very specific question.
I don't think it
I
does.
don't think it does. And even if it did, I think that would be an iOS feature, not necessarily a Pro feature. So maybe one day, but not now. Yeah, nothing on the iPad, nothing on the Mac. That's a separate event. They'll come in one event, I imagine.
Okay, the Apple Watch has been ordered as well, the Series 8. So once again, we got a 45mm in the new silver
We may
aluminum
grab
case.
the Watch 5 Pro.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll need to get it off of Amazon
Yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah. Get the brown one, then we'll have the side by side. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do the best we can with the side by side, but obviously neither of them are particularly aimed at either of or any three of us. So we'll just have to compare them at face value. But that's all we can really offer, to be fair.
Should we have a look at the iPhone page?
Again, yeah, it's all from the event really, though, isn't it? It's all just kind of like reiterating. I'm not seeing anything that's not more or less just cut from the event and popped onto the page. You know, even down to the colours. The purple is not as vibrant as I think the images in the event made it look. I think it's quite desaturated and dark.
I'm really curious to see the space black. So they're calling it space black now. Before it was called graphite. Before it was called space gray.
To me, based on the image on their website that you guys should be able to see, the space black looks like the graphite back with a darker band.
Yeah, I see that.
It doesn't look that much darker on the back. It looks very much the same, but the band is clearly darkened down. Looks nice. Big deal about the ceramic, not ceramic, what was the island called? Dynamic Island or something.
Yeah.
The approach to an always on display is a strange one, that's for sure.
I was just looking at some of the specs for the video recording, and yes, there's no 8K.
Nah,
so
it's not even a consideration as far as I'm concerned, yeah.
But it can do, I don't remember if the 13 Pro could do Dolby Vision at 30 or 60.
I think it was at 30, yeah.
Yeah, this one can do 4K 60 with Dolby Vision. So at least there's that improvement.
Yeah, I wonder if your notifications come up on the always on display. The one thing that I feel like the always on display is good for is popping up when things happen.
We have another message, super chat from AKDZ2. Is iOS 16 coming today? Let's check. Apple hasn't really mentioned anything about iOS 16 at the event, which was strange.
Was one discontinued? I don't think so. They are not.
Let's see, iOS 16.
Second generation is still there.
Okay, in terms of iOS 16, Apple has updated a page if you go to iPhone and then iOS 16. So the date is now the 12th of September.
Just a quick one. As I suspected, the 13 mini is the $599 on the 13, $699 for the regular size one. So the 12 and the 13 are not essentially one versus one for the same price as it looked in the event.
Kyle's asking, I have an iPhone 11 Pro Max. Is it worth upgrading to the iPhone 14 Pro Max? I would say yes. If you care about the camera, that's really the biggest upgrade. Of course, you also have the 120 Hertz, the always on display. You get a lot of upgrades, and the battery is significantly better. So
I'd say from the 11 Pro Max, absolutely. Yeah, you've served your time with that 11 Pro Max. Your time has come to get something new, and the 14 Pro Max is going to be a real big jump for you. I mean, you know, the notch didn't come with the 11, but it still was on it for a few years after that. You're actually getting a bigger jump than a lot of the previous years. Boys with the girl ball in the train at the end? Likely nothing to do with AR, as people see, or VR, or people seem to be running away with, but it does make you wonder. Someone's asked, is it worth getting the Series 8 or the Series 7? No, it's not. The simple answer is no. Don't bother looking. Just, you'll forget it even came out in a month.
Yeah, if I would say if cycle tracking is really important for you, the Series 8 is the only one that can do that with the new temperature sensor.
I was going to say it could do it before, it's not with the temperature sensor.
Yeah, so this is a more accurate version of that. So if you care about that, that's, I would say, the only reason to get a Series 8, but other than that, even the low power mode, that's going to be available to the Series 7. And all the improvements with watchOS 9. So improved sleep tracking, the heart rate zones, all of that is coming to the older models too.
Obadiah has asked, he said, I would wait a year because of the USB Type-C port coming. Me too. I would consider this if it had USB-C, but I cannot be bothered with any kind of lightning cable when I go anywhere, with everything else being USB-C and stuff like that. Yeah, I think as soon as this gets USB-C, great. Perfect device, cherry on the cake right there, I'll consider it. But until then, I really do not want to be bothering with that. Just a small compromise, but I've already got what I want. I don't need a new product to get that.
Yash is asking about the iPad 10th Gen. So that's coming in October, and updates on that. We've done a video. So that's on the channel, and we will be doing some updated videos on the October event right after the iPhone coverage.
I wouldn't rule out that coming in early next year, because a lot of the cheaper ones have sometimes come in March, at the March
That
event.
is true.
I actually would put my money on October, but I would not rule out the idea that will wait until early next year. They've become to a point now where they always have a March event, and generally that March event tends to be on a few random bits. The iPad could very much be one of them. If you look at what product probably needs updating at this point, it's probably the Pro. And combined with the fact that we're expecting maybe a new MacBook Pro, that October event is very likely to be Pro focused. And the cheap iPad just doesn't lend itself to that idea.
Someone said that the iPhone 14 Pro starts from 128 gigs. Let me just quickly check.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, they're all 128 baseline, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's bad. That's really bad, because it's more expensive in the UK, and it's 128 gigs.
Yeah.
128 is never enough for me. 256 is the sweet spot, so I will need to upgrade. So in that case, it's going to be even more expensive.
That is
Wow.
$10.99. Yeah, for the well, that's in the US actually.
Okay.
Let's have a look at the shocker that is the UK. That's 1209. As if that 10 quid really makes a difference.
1209 for the 256.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Is that for the 14 Pro, the standard?
14 Pro.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's insane.
£100 for what is essentially the kind of the right configuration. You could get it for a little bit less with the less storage. Depends on what you're doing. If you have cloud storage for your photos, you're gonna be all right probably.
W. Gideon asks, what color do we think looks better, black or white? If you're talking about the iPhone, I would personally go with black, but I do think that I have the 13 Pro in white now, and it looks pretty sleek.
Silver gang, all day, every day. Phones look better in silver.
And there we go, silver gang too for this one.
Exactly. Space gray had served its time long enough. It's time for bright colours and nice looking phones.
If only that frame was matte. The stainless steel one attracts so many fingerprints.
You almost need to send it away and have someone treat it or something. Yeah, it's so close, isn't it?
Okay, let's go over a few more questions, and then I guess we can talk about or ask the audience some of the videos.
To be fair, we may as well address questions until we're done, I think. Yeah, we already know everything on the pages from the event, but there's a lot of questions coming in.
Yeah, so let's see.
Will they stop updating the iPhone 10? Pretty soon. I don't think already, but its time is going to come. Give it a few years. That phone is from like 5 years ago now, so that is going to cling on a bit, even by Apple standards. Get the battery hours on the new phones. Okay, Mohammed, I want it.
No fast charging and no 8K video. That is true. They haven't said anything about the faster 30-watt charging, which is also strange. That was one of the big things that that was rumored to be the case.
It claims to be marginally better if you look at the video playback side of life. Claims. 1 hour is almost so close I wouldn't actually believe it every time. In terms of battery, that is pretty much it. Oh no, there's down here. Yeah, so while the video playback is up, the rest of it is not. The rest of it is identical. The jump that the 13 Pro got over the 12 Pro has been retained for this one, not improved upon. So don't expect some even more long life phone all of a sudden. That's not the thing that's been brought to this one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, someone's question just went flying past. When are they going to release the new MacBook Pro laptop? Maybe in next month. I wouldn't rule it out.
So just a quick thing that I've noticed, the brightness improvement is very significant. So the iPhone 13 Pro could go up to 1200 nits when watching HDR. The 14 Pro can go up to 1600 as well as 2000. So that's 800 nits brighter outdoors. That's a huge upgrade.
Yeah, that is also that's just really good in general as well.
Yeah.
Someone said our dynamic island is a fancy way to name the notch. Does sound better than notch. Give Apple that, yeah. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it is still a big kind of obtrusion compared to, say, the punch-hole cameras that other Android phones have. But you're getting Face ID, so if you want Face ID, you're going to have to tolerate that. It's kind of like giving you the best-case scenario. Someone said about the teaser at the end. We know there was a teaser, we don't know what it means, and I don't think anyone does. I'm betting it's something to do with Severance, but again,
it kind of looked like, I forgot her name from Severance, yeah.
Yeah, the ginger.
Yeah,
one.
the main, she's...
I can't remember any of the names apart from Mac.
I'm really bad with remembering names.
What was her name, Ryan?
Ellen or something?
12 Pro Max or S22 Ultra, do you own an iPhone or do you own a Samsung phone? Generally, that will dictate your choice. The Pixel 7 event is also announced for October the 6th.
That is true.
Like that. If you like Google phones, that's worth waiting for. But generally, Samsung's phones tend to be better anyway. But realistically, if you want the choice, you probably don't want an iPhone anyway.
We also have a question from Suhaib. He's asking, when are they going to release the new MacBook Pro laptop? That's likely going to be November, maybe October. I would put my money on November on a new Mac event.
What time is the embargo set? Doesn't apply to us. We wouldn't know.
Unfortunately not. But I mean, realistically, the embargo is usually about 2 days before the actual launch. That's usually when it is. So in that case, for the iPhone 14 Pros and the iPhone 14s, those are on the 16th, so Friday. I think 14th, Wednesday, is when we'll see some videos. Is the AirPods Pro first generation discontinued? Let's have a look.
It's not, no.
Is it not?
No, well, it depends how you define first generation. Oh, sorry, AirPods Pro, actually. I looked at it earlier, but I might
That's
not
true.
have looked at
AirPods
the
Pro
wrong one.
first generation is indeed discontinued, yeah.
Yeah, second gen or nothing. And then you've got your second gen basic and your third gen basic, yeah.
And you can also pre-order the AirPods Pro from the 9th, so that's this Friday.
Will you be doing away with the Series 7? Not from what you've said so far, Daniel. Sounds like you're not really that interested in. Yeah, who's surprised?
No, I'm definitely not getting the Series 8, that's for sure. We'll get it for, coverage, so we will be checking it out on the channel. But personally, I'm not upgrading. In terms of the iPhone, 100% upgrading, and AirPods Pro 2, yeah, upgrading as well. I might get a new band for my Apple Watch. I haven't had a new one in 2 years or something, so maybe I'm gonna get a new band, whatever that is. But that's pretty much it.
Someone says, suggesting if anyone wants to upgrade, find a 13 Pro for cheap. I would say that if you were thinking of getting the 14.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say that if you're upgrading. At the end of the day, it's not that much cheaper, and the 14 Pro does have a lot going for it. So it very much depends where you're coming from, not necessarily what you're moving to. It's all about the kind of context of your situation and how much you want to spend, because, again, even the Pro features are all just niceties. You don't necessarily need any of them. Damn, Ramtech PTY is not happy with this keynote. Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of coming full circle now, and their video events are kind of getting a bit boring. I mean, at the end of the day, they are just a technology company, though. They're not an up-and-coming startup or whatever. They are in a place to make consistent money with consistent products. Mm-hmm. They are not looking to blow the doors off with anything that's incredibly fancy or new. That is not their purpose anymore.
Yeah, usually the way they do it is they imagine or they design in their heads the perfect, let's say the perfect phone that they can do, but they just don't release all the features at once. They kind of postpone that for multiple years to make more money.
Yeah, they plan what's going to happen and when it's going to happen, because at the end of the day, they have to release something new every year. That's part of the business model. So they do kind of need to spread things out. Yeah, whether you like it or not, it's not really the point.
Yeah, like with the Apple Watch Series 4, I don't know if you guys remember, but the Apple Watch Series 4, the one that introduced the new design, the heart rate DCG meter, that was supposed to come with an always-on display. So it actually had an LTPO panel, but it actually lacked the chip to be able to do that. And everyone believes that that was an intentional move on Apple's end, just so that they could have that one new feature for the Series 5.
Rukshan is implementing the spam trick of saying, my dad is trying to find out if Samsung is better than Apple in your perspective, what is better? It's a pointless question because you're referring to brands and not products, so we can't compare. Entirely depends on which you think looks better, but at the end of the day, the goal they achieve is almost the same across the board now. We're talking watch AirPods, alternative phone.
Mm-hmm.
The competition has never been closer. That applies as much to Google with the Pixel Watch coming out soon. Samsung very much have always been up there with about 5 different earbuds you can buy. The market is not as simple as one versus one anymore. There is entire systems that you can pick from with their own perks. Do you think the Ultra model is going to be too bulky?
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is
100%.
even the question. Yeah. Why no OG HomePod? I wouldn't rule it out, but it's definitely not coming to this event. Definitely not coming to this event.
No, it might come. So there's a new HomePod that's set to be coming by the end of this year. So if anything, I think that might make an appearance at the October event when the new iPads are introduced. I think that is a possibility.
Mr. Coca-Cola, what watch are you wearing? The Watch 4 Classic, Samsung's one.
Yeah, and I'm wearing the Series 7 and Connor is not wearing a watch at the moment.
No.
Is Fortnite coming? No, it is not.
No.
No, it is not.
Okay, we've had a lot of questions from you guys. I guess now we can probably ask you what sort of videos you guys want to see first. So obviously we're going to start with the iPhone. That's a no-brainer. But I think...
Probably the Pro specifically as well.
Yeah.
But how great for the iPhone 6S? Yes, you should. But don't get the 14, get the 13 Pro or the 14 Pro, depending on your spend. Do you think the camera fault of the light reflection fixed? I'm going to assume you mean all of the dots that are becoming a bit common with these new cameras. Probably not fixed, no. Samsung claimed they implemented a coating that fixed this, and it just didn't. So even those that are trying to fix it aren't fixing it. So I'm going to assume that's just very much still there and they don't know how to fix it, or they aren't bothered to fix it. The base iPhone 14 Pro is €1,350 in my country. Don't buy the iPhone then. At the end of the day, you have no choice. You buy Apple's product or you don't buy Apple's product.
Okay, so I've just created a poll asking you guys which videos you want to see first. So we have the iPhone 14 things you didn't know, so that would also cover the iPhone 14 Pro. We have the iPhone 14 versus 14 Pro, so a comparison between the two with everything you need to know. The iPhone 14 Pro versus the S22 Ultra, and that's essentially a spec comparison and everything we know about both phones so far. And of course, the Apple Watch Ultra, things you didn't know. So feel free to vote. Let us know which video you want us to make first. That's the video that we'll be working on tomorrow and publishing tomorrow. So it looks like the iPhone 14 versus 14 Pro is winning. Interesting.
I figured, yeah, most people want to see that, yeah.
Although a lot of you have really, really enjoyed our Things You Didn't Know videos in the past, where we went through all the small things and discovered some secrets that Apple hasn't really said that clearly at the event. So yeah, it seems like the 14 versus 14 Pro is winning. 448 votes so far. Okay, I think in the meantime we can answer a couple more questions.
Is the island going to cut deeper into video content? Now, you'd assume it wouldn't, but that didn't stop the 13's notch from being taller than the 12's, so yeah, it probably will actually. I think it will be basically the same, but it's very, very hard to say, so... We'll tell you though when we find out. We'll do a video on that, but yeah.
Now that I think about it, I should have also included an option. You can only have 4 options, by the way, but maybe instead of the Apple Watch, I could have had iPhone 14 Pro should you upgrade and how it compares to the 13 line. That's another video that we've done in the past, and you guys seem to have really enjoyed it. We have 656 votes, and it looks like it is the 14 versus 14 Pro so far. So if that wins, I'm going to do another poll. asking you guys if you want to see the 13 Pro versus 14 Pro or this video.
Which Apple Watch would you guys recommend, the 7 or the 8? In a similar vein to the 13 Pro, being a good recommendation, and the 7 for a good price, I don't see many reasons not to go for it.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, with the Series 8, it's just a temperature sensor and the car crash functionality. That's it. That's literally
specific
it.
features, isn't it? The car crash functionality, you may as well consider that not a feature. Like, realistically, when you think about it, yes, nice to have, but to pay money for? I'm not so sure. Depends where you're driving. Do you drive a lot of country roads? Then maybe.
It depends on what car you have.
Yeah, a lot of modern cars just have SOS features built in that allow for this kind of thing. So consider your situation. Don't consider that like, oh, I've really got to have that, because you just kind of don't.
Someone's asking, when does WatchOS 9 come out? I believe it would be the same as iOS 16, so let me quickly check.
Yeah, iPadOS and macOS isn't until October.
12 of September, yeah.
Yeah, if you can remove that poll when we're done, then pull out the chat.
Yeah, you can press on it to minimize it.
I can't interact with the one on the screen.
Okay.
It's just the link as is. I can't
Right.
click on anything in it.
Okay, guys, if we can get 1,000 votes, we have 916. If we can get that to 1,000, then we'll close the chat. Sorry, the poll. In the meantime, we have another donation from Interpret, and he's asking, what should I upgrade my iPhone 12 with? Well, I'm assuming you have a standard iPhone 12, so I would say if you can afford the 14 Pro, that's a huge upgrade. If not, I would say try and find a 13 Pro for a good price, even if it's used.
Or someone asking if the UK versions of the phone will have a SIM tray. I'm not sure. I can't quite find anything on the website, but it might be worth checking the AR view, which I can't do on this machine. Open on your iPhone, check the AR view, see if it has a slot, because generally they do tend to leave them on the ones that do have it. They do tend to have that difference.
I'm assuming they will, because quite a few carriers here don't support eSIMs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Again, America-focused idea.
Okay, I'm going to close the poll now because we've actually surpassed 1,000 votes, and it seems like the winner is the iPhone 14 versus 14 Pro video. So let me close that for now. And I'm going to open up that new poll just to ask you guys if you want to see the iPhone 14 versus 14 Pro or the iPhone 14 versus 13.
Are existing Apple bands compatible with the Ultra model? It certainly seems so, but the fit might be a little bit goofy with the sheer size of the Ultra. Ultra, we're really blurring the line now, aren't we? So now the Samsung is the Watch 5 Pro, and the Apple one is the Ultra. Just flipping the script every time.
It's so weird, and I did see a leak that Apple would call the iPhone 14 Pro Max the iPhone 14 Ultra, which that would have made a lot more sense, really, especially with the Plus naming scheme, but they haven't done that. So now I feel like the lineup naming scheme is just very confusing.
It's intentional. I think it's intentionally confusing, though, isn't it? They're trying to make it. They're trying to pick the optimal word for the device. They were never going to call the 14 Plus the 14 Max because that would infringe on the Max. It would generally sound like it was overlapping the 14 Pro. So they're going to be very careful with all that. Yeah.
Okay, the new poll is live. So you guys can vote between those two videos which one you want to see first. We'll probably be doing both anyways, but which one you want to see tomorrow, basically. And it looks like most of you want to see the iPhone 14 versus 13 comparison should you upgrade. And once again, this covers both the 14 and the 14 Pro and the 13 and 13 Pro. Oh, we're approaching 50-50. 49 and 51.
I was going to say, I think both of them, like you say, make both of them. At the end of the day, I think they're both.
We have another donation from Jocelyn. He's asking, I have a Series 5. Should I upgrade to the 8 or the Ultra? Don't get the Ultra unless you're...
The Ultra is not in competition with the 5.
No.
It is a different device. You don't just get the Ultra because you want the better version. You get the Ultra if you want what the Ultra is designed to do. It's like about the equivalent of like a pickup truck. If you don't need what the pickup truck offers, why would you bother even looking at it? Yeah, it just offers nothing for you other than being oversized.
So in that case, just go for the Series 8. Or to be honest, once again, if you can find a Series 7 for a good price, just go with that. It's the same thing. You don't have cycle tracking, and you don't have the car crash.
Yeah, I mean the Series 7, I know that you can find it cheaper. Like, just get more for your money. At the end of the day, like, there's no harm in getting, especially on Apple's side where they support it for so long. There's no harm in getting last year's device. When the prices come down and stuff like that, it can be a really obvious choice at times. Especially again when it comes to the 13 Pro Max. You know, you've got the telephoto, you've got the 3x telephoto that's still the same. It's still perfectly good in low light. All these 2x numbers don't mean as much as they might sound like in the event. That doesn't mean the 13 Pro is bad anymore.
Another super chat from Bernard. So he's asking, or saying in this case, Canadian prices are horrible for the new iPhone 2. You guys are more entertaining than the Apple stream. Thanks for the coverage. Thank you.
Yeah, that's nice to hear that.
Yeah, we do appreciate that.
We weren't 100% sure how well this would go, but it's seemingly gone really quite well, yeah.
No, we haven't done a stream. So I did a live stream, I think 3 years ago, by my own. And it was really fun. Like, interacting with you guys was awesome. So we haven't really done that since, and this is the first team live stream. So, you know, that's why the sound is not, you know, perfect. We're not in the studio because of space in there.
Yeah, we're working with what we had. We didn't necessarily kind of have a setup in mind for this. We've just kind of put together what we can, yeah.
With the next live stream, we'll obviously make some improvements, probably get some better mics and improve the audio and all that to make it better for you guys.
Someone said Ultra is for professionals. What kind of professionals though? Because I don't see a single reason to own it if you are, say, a professional, you know, land real estate agent or whatever, you know. Why would you bother with a gigantic sports-focused watch? Like, professional at what? Because I get if you're a professional at extreme sports, then sure, yeah, like, but how many of us are that? I bet there's probably only like 1 or 2 people in this chat that are actually able to say that.
Mr. Shafi donated, and he's asking, new watch SC or the Series 7? I would say the Series 7, 100%. Again, if you can find it for a good price, you get an always-on display, you get the ECG meter, you get the oxygen level meter, none of which you have with the SC. You get thinner bezels, a larger display, a better speaker, better battery life, faster charging. So there's so many upgrades that you get over the SC. So
I think the always-on display is literally like a game changer.
100%, yeah.
To not have that means the majority of the time when your watch is down, you're getting nothing out of it. Mm-hmm. Always on display is an absolute game changer of a feature. So not having that on the SE and having thinner bezels, like, I just don't see a single reason why you'd really bother other than just the price again.
Yeah.
Will the always on display come to the iPhone 12? Almost certainly no.
No, sadly. Although they could theoretically do it through a software update. In fact, there were a couple of rumors that they were looking into this and even testing it, but sadly,
I think the rumors were that it was possible, wasn't it?
They were looking.
There was tools that could allow for it.
Yeah.
Whether they do it or not is a whole different question. I mean, the 13 Pro isn't going to get it either.
Yeah.
Almost certainly not. So, yeah, 14 Pro exclusive feature for the time being. Yeah.
It's really weird because, like, we've had always-on displays on Android phones, specifically Samsung and even Pixel phones, since what, 2016, I believe, something like that.
Incredibly long time. Yeah. I mean, even before that, there was ones like LG and stuff like that.
Exactly, LG did it first, yeah.
LCD phones.
Yeah, on an LCD display with the LG G3, I think. So it is fully doable. I think it's just a matter of power efficiency and how much. Because, like, with Samsung phones, yes, they do affect the battery life, but that is a trade-off that I'm willing to do because I think having always on display is so useful. But Apple doesn't really give you that. They're like, hey, you can get us on the 14 Pro, or
it's more of a marketing feature,
yeah.
I guess. I mean, Samsung's always on display is simple and effective. It's just, here's what notifications you have that you might need to address. So if you see an app that's important come up, you'll prioritize it. Basic use case for a basic feature, but it is a very, very big feature. Even just using it as a clock on a night, put it on a wireless charger stand, you've got a bedside display. So it is a simple feature that can allow a lot of utility, and Apple just needed to add it, really. I don't know why they waited so long, but I think, again, it comes down to the whole, like, they just want to keep the features feeding out slowly to keep the products interesting, ultimately.
Yeah. Okay, in terms of the poll, we have 1,300 results, and it seems like the iPhone 14 versus 14 Pro is the winner. So, yeah, that's going to be the video that we're going to do first. I think afterwards we'll probably do the things to know. and then the 14 versus 13. So we'll update this list as we go along and see which one is faster to produce and make. But yeah, keep an eye on the channel for some coverage on the iPhone, Apple Watch, and the AirPods in the next few days.
Yeah, should we call it that?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
I think we answered
an awful lot of questions.
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions about the prices. Just hop on, open two tabs, look at the we can't go over all these individual websites and jump all over the world. In general, like, why is the price higher? I think it all comes down to logistics. I think Apple does a lot of stuff in the US. They're ultimately manufacturing stuff for the US to ship things kind of away to a different country. I don't necessarily think it's justified, but I think they consider it an opportunity to, I guess, just make more money off the back of the exchange rate. I'm not 100% sure. There's probably a better video out there for that. But ultimately, I think they don't necessarily need to be, but Apple knows that they can be.
We just got one last super chat from Lucifer Cobain. So he's asking, is the only difference between the iPhone 14 Pro and the 14 Pro Max the display and the battery life? Yes, it is. It's literally just that. They have the same cameras, same design. It's just the size, the display itself also being larger, and the battery life, which is the best on the 14 Pro Max. We will need to check if the 14 Plus has a better battery life than the 14 Pro Max, like Apple claimed, which was quite interesting. So we will check that and let you guys know in the Things You Didn't Know video. So stay tuned for that.
VAT versus sales tax, there you go, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Logistical stuff like that we don't necessarily see, but Apple very much does. Yeah, stuff like that. But thank you very much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. By all means, keep an eye out for one happening in October, or pretty much whenever an event is now at this point. And yeah,
thanks for joining us, and keep an eye on the channel in the next few days.
Content coming soon.